will find out how that cookie crumbles maybe on Monday, because it's overtime now, baby.
Yeah.
Send him off.
Bang. All right, to what my guy Normal Special in the chat said, it's hard, must be hard being somebody else. So there it is, the quote of the day. There's one thing that you can do better than anybody else, and that is be yourself.
Oh.
There you go.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Can't argue with that quote whatsoever. What do you have to wait till Monday for? I'm trying to figure out what we'll see the resolution for on Monday. I thought it was like a small cap runner. I mean, we can track any stock. What? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can literally track any stock live right now. I don't know the symbol you're talking about, or I'd have it up right now. But obviously, it's going higher. So go market. I don't know. You tell me the symbol, Shreve. The NXTT, so we'll have a look at that one this afternoon. Right now, the market's battling, the NASDAQ's battling with VWAP, and it's battling with green. Because we just went up 0.01%, don't jinx it, without breaking the volume-weighted average price. So a breakout here, and then going into these the weekend's U.S.-China negotiations, that's what I'm trying to spit out there, would end on some strength. So obviously, we have a somewhat downward trending day, but you know, it's not everything that's this week. And ultimately, like Tesla's above VWAP and up 5%. I'm actually trying to get back into HIMS, but in the opposite direction of what I was doing this morning. I am in Pouncer long. It did eventually get to that 115 level that we were talking about this morning, but it took it a while to get down to there. If HIMS breaks out the top, I go from a short this morning to breaking out a long, but I'm buying dips in that bad boy. So we're at VWAP right now. Let's see if the market can push through. Exactly flat on the day are the cues.
Zone. Okay. Messaging Joseph. Yeah, guys, I mean, look, just because we're not on the air doesn't mean I don't stop trading. We talk about that. Traders got to trade, right? We talking about this all afternoon, man. So we did buy there, then we went for our walk and got out. We should have taken $1 there, but we bought that there. Then we came back and it was just like, I like 297, man. 297, 297, 297, 297. Boom, to the upside right there with Tesla. So that name's still rocking and rolling, not as great as it was in the morning to the upside, but now Tesla, we'll see if we can have a nice little afternoon run. We actually made all of our money there, but we made some decent amounts here as well, just buying and selling and buying. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I saw Sharif trading similar with a bunch of outs there on one of his trades, and that's what we were basically doing. 298 wasn't breaking. I mean, we played that range like a fiddle, man. It was gorgeous, and then eventually it broke higher. We took out VWAP, and then we took out 301s. So, yeah, you know, put your hands up in the air and wave them like you just don't care. We're still short on Google, and we're still long on NV. I mean, look at NVIDIA. I didn't even realize it looked this good, to be honest with you. There's that dip buy into 115. Again, as it was written, we had that written down. We're not letting that go. Nice move there up to 116.50 and change. So there it is, man. It's been another one of them days, and it's only now 2 hours away from Friday official starting up after market close. We'll have the recap show. You guys will all chill with me and Adara and I. We'll have Scott Tileman on from Trade the Pool. We'll see what he's up to. And yeah, Scott. We're just going to have a great time. Is it Steve? Did I say Scott? Steve, I believe it is. What did I say? I think it's
Steve, did you say Scott? You know what? Whatever. It made me say Scott too.
Yeah. Okay.
You know when you're not even thinking.
It is Steve.
No, it is Steve.
I don't know. That's why I was like, did I say Scott or you said Scott or something?
No, and I made sure I cleared it up with him.
Scott.
Great Scott.
But yeah, so yeah, Tesla now trying to fall back in a little bit, but it is now looking pretty good with the NASDAQ, as Neil just said, trying to get back to Greensville here.
Just very quickly.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have lots of time.
Tesla for the Tesla. You said, see, it's crazy, like Tesla on the brain, because you just said it, and I looked up and was watching Tesla. This is Palantir, which lost VWAP, held, and the funny thing is, I'm waiting for it to break the trend, and then I'm buying the dip into the trend line, looking for a trend break on Tesla. I just did it again. On Palantir, you can see the symbol. This is why I have it up big here, because I'll keep saying like the wrong thing, because I'm looking at Tesla at VWAP. But if we break this trend line on PLTR, I want to be long. So I'll play it off the 15 level, play it off the 16 level, play it off VWAP, kind of all the obvious places that you try to look for a long. But every single time, it fails on the same trend. Whenever this breaks, That's what I want to be there for. So I'm going to have this one up, and if it never breaks this afternoon, then I'm only playing the even dollar level for like consolidation longs. Like let it hold a level and then try to go long on the consolidation. So that's what I'm watching, and I mentioned HIMS as well. We'll try to get back into. We'll see. Like I think HIMS still has a chance to break it out, even though, and I'm talking either way. Like break out the top on the wedge or break the trend down. Like it's the kind of thing where if it breaks the trend down, there's a lot of room to go on a Friday, and we'd be losing that 50 level. But for now, it's holding. We'll try to buy some of those dips, and we'll keep an eye on that NXTT for you there. Next technology holding, as it heads 150%. Yeah, that was a good dip back into the dollar level right there after multiple halts. That would have been something. Is that when you got in at the dollar? This one? Oh, under $1. Nice. 130 million shares for this bad boy and about, I don't know, let's call it 10 halts. I'm just going to guess.
All right, let's, I think we're ready to go. Shriek's over there at the debt.
Well, Randy just said Rivian's having a week. So how about we acknowledge that Rivian is absolutely it's having a day. It's having a last 2 days, really, because the start of the week was actually pretty bad for Rivian. But let's go. It still has a chance to break out. Remember this morning? We're like, can you get past this high from February, like the February top? Well, it's got a chance to do that. It's hanging on to VWAP. It failed it miserably this morning. But yeah, it's kind of, this is going sideways. Like normally, like when on a day where Rivian's up 5%, there'd be a trade this afternoon. But yeah, I'm eyeballing Palantir and HIMS at this current moment. NVIDIA wants above VWAP. That's looking pretty good. Ooh, I might buy into this one again.
Yeah, we're in NVIDIA right now as well. $1.70 in the money on NVIDIA, $2.20 in the money short on Google, and $3.50 in the money on Tesla. All right, I think we're ready now.
Yes.
All right, Sharif, let's go.
Welcome, everyone, to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. It's Friday, baby, but that doesn't mean the boys are not locked and loaded and ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get your tickers up there is to join Joseph and I on the midday show and get into the chat and vote for your favorite tickers every day. But you got to be a subscriber in order to vote and engage with us in the chat. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and please share. Here is a look at the all four major averages. Very flat today, guys, with the NQ barely in positive territory, just went negative as I spoke. Likewise with the ES, just marginally in the lower. We're talking about 0.1% here. Likewise, again, with the Russell 2000 just down 0.15, and the Dow, the worst of the bunch here, down 0.25%, but essentially a flat day for all four major averages. Tesla, the best performing easily here of the Mag 7 names on the day, up 5.33%. No real major headline, guys, and they continue to rise despite this article's statement here of product setbacks and policy risk, guys. Could it be China on the weekend?
Maybe. We don't know what we're getting.
Nothing going to happen with China.
We don't know what we're going to get.
That might be the reason why.
Look, whether it's the reason or not, I think, we were talking about the short sellers that have been in control of this stock in front of the 90 level. Well, they lost control. It kept bouncing off to 220. It ended up being a much better buy off 220 than anticipated. And now you're squeezing it out because the death cross traders, if they weren't out before, they're starting to cover now because we're going to close above the 200-period moving average. Just knock on wood. I don't think it's very likely that we lose the 200-period moving average today, but that's at 293, 292.70 or something like that. But yeah, you're starting to get some higher lows. I wasn't even on my plan of action to trade. So I took it because it was a 300 break. And this point I was like, well, if the 300 break happens, we'll take the 300 break. And because it wasn't part of the trade plan, it's now finally making a series of higher lows. I think if you hold on to VWAP, you're good to go. If you lose it, 293 to 95 is the dip spot. I just think there's going to be a defense of the 200 period for this. It gets bought back up, and next week would be more short covering if you get a close where it is right now. It wouldn't even have to get back to the highs. It's clearly a bit of a squeeze stock today.
Yeah, almost exact same talk. I mean, I didn't have Tesla on my radar right now, and it is 6x my next stock, right? I mean, it's just like, I basically just let this thing chill. And then once I was determined, and we talked about this right around 9:45, when it started to rip to the high side, just start right away. We were like, okay, 300's coming in, and I just wanted to get long before 300. So it fell back in, and I was like, this looks like a level to me. So we bought 297, 298s, and got it all out there for $3 or $4, I guess $3. And then it broke through 300. Then we just held strong, man, and averaged into this trade. And then we had our full boat, and it was like Noah's Ark. We unloaded it up here, though, in and around 306, 307. We have like 4 or 5 outs up there. Then when it fell back in, we got more out, 304, 305, and then back up here to 306. Then more outs right there. Then, like, so we tried, this is right before we left you guys. Then we tried the long again at that same level of 99. Didn't work there, got it back, it worked. Bought some more there, got out there. So little rough patches into here where we gave a little bit back, but really nothing. And then we sat down here for real and started to trade this thing again off of a predetermined level of 297. I wasn't even using this 296.50 area. I was going to be stopping out once we broke like 297, basically 75, 296.75. And then boom. So now Tesla working out. And yeah, I mean, like what Neil said, you're starting to break up higher now on the daily. Good longs down there. Glad we still have this Tesla. I mean, I think I bought some at 320 or 330 on the way down, and then again at like 270 or 280, like somewhere in there. But like we were, dead when it went down. Not dead, but we were suffering when it went down there in the 220s or 230s. But again, maybe more companies will report horrible quarters, and then we can get this huge bump up of over 40% or whatever it was, from 200 up to $300 right there. So 220 to 300 on a quarter that, I mean, you can go back and check our watch list. We were like, man, that was a bad quarter.
Everybody was saying
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. The numbers don't lie. And anyways, Tesla continues to work out. And I think that's, again, with Doge and with all this kind of talk, if Elon can get back to business here, we know what Tesla's capable of. It's much more than a car company. But we don't need to keep talking about the same stuff over and over again. So, yeah, man, Tesla wins. And then you're about to see, all right, you go talk about the story about Google, and then we'll talk about, it's the number one idea there for me today. And we're going to go find out what the story is, and we'll talk about it. Oversold? No, I think there's a lot more to go on the downside.
Fair enough, Sean. There's really not much to say today about a story, just a little bit more weakness from that Apple story that we got midweek about them possibly, not using Apple anymore as being the default search engine as a result of Safari's drop in Google usage there. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. There is this headline today: Google deploys on-device Gemini to fight online scams. Apparently, this new use of AI is blocking millions of fraud pages in real time. Not a bad use for AI, though, boys.
No, so look, man, I sold some in my own personal account during lunch. I starting to get out of some Google, and today it's the number one trade idea on the stick. We didn't have it in our watches. We just talked about some tech names, but it's obviously a big story because we just saw a couple of days ago what Tariff was just talking about there with Apple and Google, and just the whole, anyways, we wrote down 155 short. We're short 155. It's at 152. Our best fill is 152.30. This is going to be another huge P&L name for us today. It's Google. But look, you think Google's bad now? Wait till OpenAI launches their browser, okay? I feel great about getting out today of Google. And I didn't get out of everything. I got out of probably a third of what I have on Google, and we'll just wait to see. I think there's some more downside pressure coming in the market, like Monday when the Nasdaq's down 3%. Maybe we'll buy some Google at that point, but for right now, I don't want anything to do with this name. I think there's been a seismic change in their business, and whenever that happens, I don't want anything to do with it. I would much rather buy Apple or some of these other depressed names. In my opinion, I looked down, I was still up 80% or something on Google in my account. And it doesn't matter, it's where it's come from, right? If I was up 80 now, we were up 150 or whatever at $200. It's just, it's about time to get out. So underneath the 50 period moving average, I want to be short. I don't want to be short Google, but I just don't want to be long it as much anymore. So I feel bad not getting out up here, but it's always better to maybe regroup a little bit. So that's what I'm doing with Google, and we can deploy the cash somewhere else. I mean, it's just sitting in cash now. So whatever.
I put half in already into. So last
would
week,
rather get out of
the
it.
day you were gone, I was like, and I even said it at 10. It was like 10:30 or something. I was like, oh, Google, I don't like it. I should get out of it. I'm going to do it when we finish the show, and then I didn't pull the trigger, and then more bad news happens. When you want to do something in the long term, you should just do it. And I like, and when everyone came in the middle of the show, they're like, oh, what do you want to buy right now? Like, I had Meta up the entire time before they answered the question, because to me, that's where the Google money is going to. And it's just, like, it's not about, to me, it wasn't about wanting the cash. Like, I didn't want to sell for cash. It's just that I want it out into something that I like a little bit better right now, and I like it better right now. And that's going to be a long-term thing. When I say it, I mean Meta. But what's really disturbing potentially for Alphabet here is, like, while the market has looked pretty good off this bounce, it's how weak its bounce has been from the lows. And if you pull it up on the weekly, you start to lose some of these levels. Like underneath 150. We close underneath 150. Were we breaking the 200 period on a weekly chart on Alphabet? Like, at that point, how much does the valuation even matter when you start bleeding through levels like that? You know, sometimes things become like a bit of a value trap. And it comes down to, if you want to still own it, you can always own it in the index, because I'll always have exposure to it, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I just like Meta better. For this afternoon, outside of the regular names that we sort of discuss here, which I think NVIDIA is already on there, Tesla's already on there for big cap tech, and Google. Apple, they're looking distinctly weak. You've got this nice little double top thing going on at 199. Maybe the 200 level comes back into play again, as we literally are losing VWAP as we speak. Okay, so there is a little uptrend, and we're losing it off 199. I want to be short Apple so long as it's holding underneath about 199 and a quarter. But this would be the chance to get into it as we speak, maybe around the volume-weighted average price. So that's the one I think I'll be trading, Apple. And let's talk about an earnings miss, for Affirm.
Yeah, Neil, I mean, there was some parts that were bad, but wow, 12.75% bad, guys, on a guidance miss here. So the report beat on the top and bottom line. There were some really good parts there about the credit cards as well as some other things, but it was the Q3 guidance that really disappointed, guys. So we are down, as I mentioned, 12.75%.
Yeah, ugly day for Affirm.
Came back a little bit at least.
Well, it's not at the lows.
Oh, now it's back down. Okay. I thought it was bounced there, but the last 10 minutes.
You want to fail?
Sure.
I'll show you a fail.
Google.
So I had Hims as a short. Not that it's been bad. I flipped eventually. Hims just kept making higher lows. I had this for a breakdown trade, and this is the all day long slight trend, right? That's holding. And eventually I'm like, well, if it's doing that, instead of trying to short, just go short the curls. Just go long on the trend line into the high. So I did that eventually. That exact same pattern, if you did it on Affirm today, where it just puts in a few higher lows and then breaks the trend, that was just it was a crapper. I've been down to 46. It's double digits to the downside. And when you look at this on the daily, yikes. This is the thing you're concerned about. Well, the reason why it's a fail, because we were talking about the 50 period, with the 200 period on the daily, if you break it out on Tesla, you you go for the long break above. Well, Affirm was the exact opposite of that. And all you had to do was break that one down. I'd be a little bit concerned that you're going to see, if there's any more weakness in the economy, you'll probably see 40 on this next week for Affirm. Give it the old 3-day rule, maybe, if you're thinking about buying this, like dip buying this. But it just seems like you failed what was big support at the 200 period, and you lose 46, and there's not much standing in the way to the downside. So this is a company that has never had to deal with, like, we don't know what Affirm looks like in like a regular, non-COVID recessionary environment. Mm-hmm. We don't know. Like, do people use it more because of what it is, or are they in a world of hurt? And I think there's probably some money coming out, not wanting to find out.
We just joked about buy now, pay never. I don't like the business. I mean, I know that, Klarna, they shelved their IPO. I'm just not in love with the business. I don't really know what else to say. Like, Breaking back below the 50 period moving average here. It's not like an investable name for me. They had some huge moves when they made the deals with Amazon, and I think they still have that deal with Apple and all this kind of stuff. I just, when you're not going to make money and you're going to miss like that, I don't know, more downside coming for a firm. But it's a great move. Like, this is one of those names where if the market absolutely collapses again, it's like Robinhood, like it has so much upside once the market gets going again for some strange reason. So I don't know, I can't really wrap my head around this business. There must be much, much more to it than what I think. But yeah, for right now, Affirm is never really on my radar. I think though, just as a trade, every stock is on my radar for trade. I mean, I think we try to prove that a little bit every day here, but like that pre-market high right there, like when you have a stock that makes this move and it's already red, if you can get back up to that, which it does right there at 9:30, like that $51 mark is a huge short. And then it should have been shorted right there again. That's close enough to that level of $50.55. So yeah, I feel like a huge missed opportunity for anybody that's actively trading Affirm today if you're not short these levels. Also to dip buy is something hard to do on this, but it looks like 46.50 or so has been the bottom there. But for me, this is the opportunity, and we could talk about it with Coinbase. I haven't even looked at that chart today, really. I'll see if it has the same sort of a pattern, but right into there, pre-market highs and breaking. That's the trigger, right? That's your trigger spot, in my opinion. So, all right, that's...
Before we move on, you mentioned Robinhood. I just wanted to pull that one up for a quick little second. Actually, always start with the highest time frame first. Okay, so Robinhood, great stock off the 200, all that good stuff. And there is the prior high going back into March. We've just topping tailed that candle right here with a reversal on Hood. And this is, look at the consolidation as it attempts to hold the 54. So prior day close, afternoon support, 54 is holding on for dear life while we've just had that topping tail candle at resistance on the daily. So this is another one. I like Robinhood. I'm not putting them in the Affirm category at all. It's just more, if you lose 54 on Hood, I think you're running into a little bit of trouble, and it could be a bit of a down week for them. But yeah, it's actually worth watching today, because I think if you break that downward trend that you saw in the 15-minute, Hood could be a nice little relief rally to end the day.
All right, guys, Coinbase next. And this one, the chart looks like it's been all over the map. We sold off on the earnings miss yesterday. We popped up this morning to start the morning, and now we're negative again. Down 2.11%. It was a Q1 miss, and the guide was also a little questionable, but that's not where they want you to focus. They want you to look at the SEC win that they got under their belt, as well as the upcoming Bitcoin reserve that Donald Trump put in via EO, boys.
So, again, Coinbase, like only being down 2% isn't that bad, but you would think that with crypto absolutely ripping, I mean, all the altcoins.
Yeah, that is pretty
on Coinbase, they have like all the altcoins pretty much. I don't know if they have some of Michael Noss's favorite ones on there or not, but they definitely have most of them. So with crypto trading now finally starting to, not now finally, but I feel like whenever I see big moves in the underlying assets, it's going to mean that there's more trading happening. We do know that Coinbase is a big custodial spot there for a lot of these ETFs where they're housing and buying coins. So that should be okay. So if we sort of talk about the patterns that we had seen earlier on, so this is the pre-market right down into here, right? So today, I mean, once we opened up, that's 8:50, so here's 9:30 right into here. So it does dump, and then we take out that pre-market low. So if you were to buy into there, you would have probably been stopped out because it goes down to 201. It's very, very hard to check out because I stopped the charting at 4:30. I think our charts completely turn off at 4:30, I think, anyways. So right down into there, 199, that was a good hold. So we never really got down there until we did. And then right into there, that was the trade for me. To try to pick that up and watch it run to the high side, that was probably a pretty tough trade. I would say that because it was a bad report, you might have been looking short here around 210, and then therefore 214 stops me out if that happens. So kind of glad we didn't look at that. For me, the only missed opportunity right down there is right here. So, part of trading is looking back and saying, what have I done? And I mean, I do that every day, and this is no other example. This is another example, but stock has to be on your radar. And honestly, I didn't look at Coinbase today. I've 4 or 5 other names, which is probably more than I usually trade, but that was a great level. I mean, again, when you're looking at support and resistance, look at where we got in the melee and look at the pre-market levels. Today, the pre-market levels on Coinbase wouldn't have given you anything, so it was this one. And again, I think you probably were defending 200, so this is a winning stock today if you're trading off levels, especially if you left it alone early, because if you go long 200, there's no way your stop is anywhere above this level, and it holds it. So for $1 worth of a hold, you have $4 back. That sounds like a trade that I'd be interested in. So Coinbase, congrats if you're looking at it. I feel like it was a good trade there off the 200 level because you wouldn't have got stopped out.
There was a clean breakout on Coinbase, but the timing of it kind of stunk. All morning, every single time Tesla got to 300, 299, 299 and a half, immediately like all attention went to Tesla, which is just kind of how it is. So there's coin, there is that breakout on the daily that we had mentioned, and you'll see, it's like, look, broke the prior high above that level. It goes all the way like $1.50 almost plus in the money. And if I punch into a breakout trade, I'll at least always have a stop that's protecting me. But I had no fills on the way out. It's just a one and done. And in that moment, what it is, I was on a Tesla level 2. Tesla was imminently going to break, in my opinion. Tesla didn't break at that moment. It broke a little bit later. And you actually abjectly end up failing that level. So Sean said, like, unless you were reversing that level, which I was never intending to, or going long off the 200, that's pretty much it. Regardless of the report, it's holding the consolidation. So, you know, you shouldn't be any doom and gloom about this stock. It's holding the 50. Give it the old 3-day rule. And if it holds that 50-period moving average after these earnings, as long as crypto doesn't dump, I mean, Bitcoin doesn't dump, then I think you're still good to go. It's a big trend break, and you're just taking the stairs to the upside. And if you don't fall down a step after earnings, that's always a good sign, in my opinion.
Earlier this week, we got news that the Trump administration was rolling back the previous Biden-era AI anti-diffusion rules, which should have certainly helped NVIDIA. It hasn't really been that way, though, boys. And today we got this story that NVIDIA looking at modifying, that China-specific AI chip, the H20, even further so that it meets the new criteria under the Trump administration, guys. So NVIDIA here trading down 0.2%.
Right, so I mean, NVIDIA again. We talk about the note, and I mean it's reason why I put out the sticky note every single day. It's because it's something that I follow, and I'm here to make. Oh, by the way, look at U of T. I mean, it was such a gorgeous day. Not a cloud in the sky. Oh. Shout out to U of T.
It is a good
right there, absolutely fantastic. But there it is right here, man. It's NVIDIA. This is the wrong list. That must have been from yesterday. But anyways, NVIDIA there, 115 for the bottom. Yeah, it came into 115. Neil and I sort of looked at this and was looking at 116, and then I was like, you know what?
You okay?
I think 115. All right, I think 115 is okay for a potential long right there. So we took that, and we are still in it right now. 116.70 or so. Was our best out there at VWAP. So yeah, I mean, I really like the stock. This has been, I might be confused here because the last couple days we were long I'm just writing down area longs now especially for a stock like NVIDIA. Like we were long 112 into 113. And then yesterday we were talking about this 115, 116 area as well. And that was the dead bottom. So I think today was just another one of those days where, we just waited. There's 115 and that's where I'm long. So yeah, man, all good into that level right there. 115 to 116 for NVIDIA. Looks like it's going to hold. We had that huge move where I didn't YOLO, but we kind of did, where that news came out and we just ran this to the upside. That let me know right there that if there's going to be any news about the chips or anything about China, that NVIDIA is going to be the one. So I'm going to keep going long and not short until I hear some negative news. I almost switched over and traded AMD today. I wrote down AMD. Oh yeah, that's what it was. So it is on the list because I was looking at that. I was like, why can't I find it? It's because it's right here. It's AMD and NVIDIA. So I wasn't sure. I just said chips are in play all week. Watch the chips. So that's all that it was. It was something pretty simple. AMD off 100 to 101 or NVIDIA to 115. So you know, the levels were there. We took the trade. I'm done sitting here and guessing. I'll let the spidey sense get me into trades like Tesla, and I'll let my brain do the rest of the work as far as NVIDIA goes. But yeah, there it is, man. It's P&L number 2 today. It's NVIDIA. Well, it's P&L number 3. Tesla, Google, NVIDIA.
Yeah, Tesla's hard to beat today. I think if you traded any of the longs on Tesla, it's probably going to be your number 1. NVIDIA 115 was the top of my list for the same reason. It's just a prior resistance level. I know the 116 yesterday, that's because there was a pullback in the aftermarket on that gap up day where the 116 support was. So I'm pretty sure that's what you were talking about. And that's why it was 16 yesterday, 15 today. That said, I did trade it early when it was trending higher. There was, it did a nice breakout pattern, early on NVIDIA, and then I played it off of VWAP, but then when it broke the trend, it was just insane when it broke the trend. This is like a perfect example of why you trade with stops. I had it a couple of times, 15, and then play it back into VWAP. Like when it bounces on a trend line like this, one of the things I like to do is, and I talked about, it was like a max thing. Other people have said it before. It's not just a max thing. Where if you're going to trail out on that trend line, then if it holds it, add in, and then leave the stop in there. It rejected VWAP, so when it broke that trend line, I got out. So that last add was it's flattish. And you're getting the rest of it at VWAP, but this one you're getting it flat. And then I bought a higher low off 16, and I have been waiting for it to break the volume weighted average price at this point on NVIDIA. Get out and about above 117 or retest one of the even dollars, and neither of those things have happened. During this time, Palantir, you have this habit of saying PLTR. You should only say that when it's easier than saying the company. Palantir is easy enough to say. Palantir has broken the trend from the entirety of the day outside of this little open dip. So I think it's a long into the volume weighted average price on PLTR. In fact, I want to be buying dips into it as well. So PLTR, Palantir, broke trend finally. We'll see how far it can go. Havana Woody, I hope Havana Woody, we were asking a little bit about ETH in the chat. Just to clarify, everything I put in there about, I'm selling my ETH. So if you tell me, when you talk about 2,800 is good sell areas and all that, to me, I'm getting out all the way up. I don't even want to be in it anymore. So I'm relatively bearish on it. So if you ask me questions about crypto, I'll tell you how much Bitcoin I want to keep holding on to and never sell, but pretty much anything else I'm selling on the way up. Although I did get into some XRP from the ETH that I sold. Half into Bitcoin, other half into XRP. They make it nice and easy for you to transfer when you're in your Coinbase account.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's
sit on there on the train. It's weird. I make I think almost all of my transactions on Coinbase are when I'm on the train commuting. I'd say 90%.
I mean, that's the beauty of it. A Robinhood, a Coinbase, they've really made, trading for the masses and so easy. I mean, the app game, everybody, especially the new generation. I mean, there's so many of you probably watching us right now that are just yeah, man. Trade everything off of an app, and I do too. I mean, I open up my phone, and I don't even log in on the browser anymore. I just log in on the app and do absolutely all of my trading just on my phone. And so obviously, other than what I do right here. All right, so just a quick look at something else here. My largest position right now in my TFSA account is JP Morgan, and it's down there at 230. So I'm pretty good at it, right? Pretty good on this right now. I'm not good at trade. I'm not good at investing, but we held this because when we had bought it, we had actually bought it right there. Then it makes this move up here, basically where it is right now. This is how bad I am. I'm not even learning from my past mistakes. And then it comes all the way back down, and nothing I could do about that. I mean, some of these moves, I guess I could have got out. There's something I could have done. But that's, the downside play in tariffs and all that stuff, and Liberation Day and whatever. I don't even know if we're still calling it that. But all the way to the downside there. And now you're just kind of getting back to some of these levels. So as we talk a little bit more about swing trades and long-term stuff, yeah, I'm still not out. I really think we could get going on this name above the 50 period and this and that. But this is a serious one for me. So maybe we need to get out a little bit, but that's the last kind of stuff that I've been buying.
Who's that up? I want to see.
So that's JP Morgan. Yeah, all the banks.
No, I just want to see how XLF is doing in comparison without having to pull.
Oh, I know. I think it's probably close to the same.
I hope so.
Right there. So, all right.
PC load letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, 230. So let's just say here. Let's go back to J.P. Morgan. So
I'm
yeah,
only
so,
because I'm in XLF and I want to make sure it's not lagging.
All right. So March 13th.
That's
What was
insane.
XLF on March 13th?
March is here this one. That's 47.40.
47. Okay. So then where is it now?
59.
47. So $12 on 47. So that's probably better because this is 227 to 253. Maybe XLF is performing just a little.
It looks exactly the same to me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyways.
I'm eyeballing and saying, but it should be the same. I was more concerned if the ETF was underperforming at that moment.
All right. The market's coming back in. I'm thinking. I mean, Google is really lighting it up. Google's coming right back into the low of the day, and we're light on all of these positions right now. So we've been getting out. Maybe this right here might be the one that we do next. Trying to get out. Like we just got out. We got out at VWAP. We got out above VWAP there. Thought it was going to go, didn't. Was thinking about breaking through 117. I mean, we're long at 115, right? And so now, I don't want to just get out of everything because the market's going through its ebbs and flows like it always seems to do, especially here in the afternoon, heading in for a big week and a big earnings week that we've just had. We had the Fed this week. Like it was a busy week. We have Fed speak now all week and into next week as well. We've obviously had something that's going to affect the stock market greatly, a new pope come through, right? So, the stock market probably has nothing to do with that. But yeah, so I'm just going to wait now and see if we do have a downside push here in the market because NVIDIA will get out of half of what we have left if we take 160. Well, it's almost here right now. You know what? I'm just going to get out at 60s. All right. Did we just get that, Phil? Yes, we did. Okay. So I got out of a quarter of what I have left right there. Right, my stop on this trade was a 115 break. We put this trade on, we talked about it. So give ourselves 30 cents worth of risk to be in the money 200. Pretty or 100, 260. No, sorry, that's Google's 260. Now, 140 cents. Pretty good relationship there. So a nice move up. We were panicking when we got it because it was like, and that's what I always do, man. Put on a bigger position. Get some out early to protect that 30 cents and then let the rest ride. And it's really been working out for us, or for me. So nice trade right there on Google. But on NVIDIA. The other name that I saw my guy trading over there was Joe, and that was DraftKings. So we already had this move today, and this was another one of those sticky note names. 36 we wrote down, and 36 we got, and 37.50 we got, and then it was boom, boom, boom. We reloaded a little bit live on air for you guys at 10:30. That went up before it fell down, and since then it's kind of been doing nothing. So I'm going to leave DraftKings alone and start to look at a name like a Palantir or something like that that's going to run a little bit more. Plus, now that we're into maybe a slower period, I think we should look for.
I thought you were going to say power. I'm like,
not yet.
Power.
No, I was going to say like names that are running. Like we had that NNV, whatever that stock was, GPUS, Webull could be another name here into the afternoon. Plus, my eyes will be over here looking at the chat to see if you guys want to do anything. I mean, I'm thinking short in the TQs.
Micron is kicking in. So.
By the way.
Yeah.
By the way, yesterday's TQQ trade. Was it yesterday? Or maybe it was even the day before. I can't. It was yesterday. We had this whole move to the point where I got out in the after hours. Okay, so like yesterday, we were short the TQs right here. Remember, we got stopped out and then boom goes the dynamite to the downside. So like I said, man, traders are going to trade. And if that sets up again, I'm going to do it again. And it's pretty close. But we got to get back up to here, 59 something, like 20s. I don't know. I'll make a decision when we get up there. But somewhere around there, 59.15, 59.10. If we could get up there on the NASDAQ, so we need to bump just a little bit, then I'm going to short again. So we'll wait to see. This was a ballsy short because we were already above everything. I just had the feeling that we were going to the downside there, and we did, like watching different stocks. The opinions that I make just aren't like based on the chart. Like I look at the chart, fine, that's great. You could see charting doesn't work. I mean, you could see all these things around us all the time. I can call up lots of traders on here. There's reasons why trading is not a science. It's much more of an art than a science, right? Because it's all looking back. You can look at a chart and be like, that was nice, right? But generally speaking, in my 23 years, I really haven't seen a successful trader using charts. Like most of the traders that have graduated behind us have been on something either at the end of the day, some sort of an imbalance thing, trying to find their niche in the market. And I know that's true of myself as well. And it's taken me a minute now to get back into the groove of trading for you guys live on the show, because charting is obviously a key. You need to have it. Like you can't, I'm not saying charting is not important. It's very important, but you need to be able to risk manage, have balls enough to use share size, and understand your trading strategies, you know, because share sizing is like, that for me is the number one thing. And I think it's true for everything, even no matter what kind of style you're trading, right? If you use more shares on successful strategies, then that's great. You can make tons of money, but you got to get to that strategy first, and then you got to know when to punch out. All the traders that make the biggest money around here also lose the biggest money, because when you make those trades, sometimes they go against you. And that's part of it, right? No matter what kind of style you're trading, it's about risk.
I don't know that it's all styles. There are some styles where there are a few styles that's not true to a certain extent. Well, I can tell you right now, like when I was trading penny stocks,
Yeah.
and when we first started out, in the first 2 years, before we opened our own floor, it was about a year and a half on the trading floor. Yeah, I pretty much never would have losses that are as big as the winning days I had. Almost never. Like every once in a while, you would just get really, really stuck. But it was a type of strategy where overall it was more of like a consistent. And the day that it's really bad, you might get really stuck that day. But your average, so if I looked at like a 3-month period, I might have one really, really bad day.
Right.
And then a normal losing day would be half of what an average winning day would be.
What I'm saying is your really bad day is what I'm saying is much worse than your best
yeah,
day.
because on that it's really rare. But the whole idea,
Right.
so think of it this way: imagine stocks where you're going to have a relatively more reasonable range. Like it's not Tesla. Like you can more predict the type of range it's going to have. So the day that it doesn't have that range, think of it this way: you're just trying to figure how far you're getting bent over on that day.
Yeah, exactly.
But most days, yeah, your loot losses are small and you can control them. By the way, Hims is himsing again right now, where it's just that there hasn't been a red candle in forever on this thing, and it's absolutely broken out at this point. So yeah, Palantir, I'll get to Palantir in a second. We did grab that dip buy, but it's, I don't know, it went like 15 cents in the money and now it's back to flat. Apple's at flat right now, but Hims is really going. So we're talking about like things that are moving. Hims is absolutely moving. It just went green on the day. I should show you the higher time frame because it does have this wild double top from yesterday at like 54.5. And if you zoom it in a little bit more, where was it? Like right in here, where we are right now is exactly where it curled and then bounced in the afternoon, like 51.65. So you're at a pretty decent inflection point. And then a pullback into prior high is always a good one. If we get all the way back into the trend line, that's a long for sure. But I think the pullback into the prior high around 51 makes some sense. Like Hims on an absolute tear, not really seeing anything else. There's a small capper moving. I already forget the name of the one Sharif was talking about. It was N something TT. It wasn't moving the last time I pulled it up, but Hims certainly is. So Palantir, we did grab it on that trend break. It doesn't seem like, it's not going parabolic off that trend break. And we've said this before. If you have an all day long trend, when you break that trend, it's like I want it to go right away. Like it should, like Palantir, especially on a name like Palantir, like you break that trend line, where is the algo buying? Where is the rip your face off, squeeze everybody to all you know what? And it's not really happening on PLTR. So kind of going to scalp some out here in front of 25. Easy on the reloading unless it holds some of these higher lows, because you also have this from the bottom, right? Like if it can hold on to these lows from the bottom, then we can add back into it. Otherwise, tight stop on PLTR, unfortunately. Like, but that's the thing. Palantir is the kind of stock where if a breakout is big or a trend break is big, like in here, it's just gonna flush or it's just gonna rip. And when it's not happening, no more reloads, tighten the stop up, and move over to Hims, which is absolutely moving. No questions asked. I just don't think I'm not chasing this move up here on a Friday in a weak market. I think that's a recipe for disaster. Because if Hims drops, it could drop 1%, no problem. So you wait for that bigger drop, then try to catch a bid. Or I do anyway, I don't mean.
Yeah, the market today. TTD. Oh, yeah. By the way, we did get. Where was it here? We got some fan funding, and I ignored it. I didn't ignore it, but I saw it, and we didn't get to talk to about it. All right, I'm not sure who I learned this from, but buying, so what's up to 2 NY cent here? Buying the dip on a healthy pullback on a strong stock has been gold buying for me. 100% agreed. That's exactly the play that we did on Tesla, and that's the one that made all the money today for sure. And then also the other way around, too, with Google, right? That's the way we made the money on Google as well. Was buy, sell a weak stock on a move up. So just the other way around. So very good 2 NY cent. And obviously, once you get your strategy, you know, that's great. So I really appreciate that. So that's a good move here. And then here we go, says Bob Dad Dog, almost like Dada Dog. First bottle of whiskey has now been opened. So that's good. So if you are drinking whiskey, I mean, maybe this might be a good time to lower your share size, but you know, who knows? It's almost noon here. Okay, so where are you at? Noon. So if it's almost noon, you must be on the West Coast because it's 3 o'clock here on the East Coast, so that would make sense. So almost noon, so that's good. Hey man, anytime, as my wife would say, is wine o'clock. So congratulations on that one. Open that whiskey bottle ASAP. Let the weekend begin. Who else has plans? Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Mother's Day plans, obviously. I'm at the hockey game tonight with my parents, my family. It's the girls' playoff. It's Toronto Scepters. It's like the PWHL. It's like Professional Women's Hockey League. So we're going to that tonight. That should be a hell of a lot of fun. And then tomorrow I'm at that wrestling event, which should be fun.
Yeah, that's the
we
thing.
have baseball. Yeah, we have a league game again tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday. The kids have CrossFit in the morning. Yeah, and then Baxter's coming over. He's going to do a big brunch for
that's awesome.
Marissa, so hopefully I don't have to do anything. I just told him I'd have the place all cleaned up for him.
Debs, or?
Well, I'm seeing her tonight, and then hopefully on Sunday. But
That's
Sunday,
Sean's mom, obviously.
Sunday night we have. So stupid, man. High Park has the last tryouts for the girls' rep team, which I coach, is 5:30 on Sunday, Mother's Day. But we're gonna try to get that over with.
I always have beef when there's sports activities or kids sports activities or just anything in general that gets. Don't do it on Mother's Day. You know nobody's going to want to be there around dinner time. It's just...
I think Mother's Day, I think you get away with it because it's dinner time.
You think so? Okay.
Well, I think a lot of Mother's Day stuff is like afternoon stuff, enjoying like going for walks and just like, I don't know.
We usually...
What are you doing? Is Rebecca back yet? Or?
Yeah, well, she's back. She's back from Anaheim. She got back early... yesterday. But no, we usually do like the brunch thing like at home, but I like to go to my parents or they'll come over for dinner so we can do both sides of it. Because, you know, if Erin doesn't get to see Grammy on that day, obviously I want to see my mom too, but she always wants to see
Forget about
Grammy.
It's not about us.
They don't care. Look, my mom, I love my mom and she loves me. But the second my daughter was born,
that's good to hear. Yeah.
I just mattered. You know, you just mattered a little bit, and it's the greatest thing in the world.
I'm like, hey, you want to go to your grandparents' house, man?
Even just seeing your parents with them it's so awesome.
I just told my kids you just have to have kids, so I can be a grandparent.
That's
not yet. Baxter's 23 years old. That guy tells me that there's a kid coming. There's gonna be some smacking around happening up in there.
Baxter's he's a grown ass man. I'm just saying, he's 23 now.
He ain't having no damn kid.
He's always been responsible.
Oh yeah,
I will say that.
Yeah,
he's always been very.
He sat down here and built an algo in 5 days, and then all of a sudden blew up his account. So yeah,
even when he was. I'm talking about.
That was pretty responsible.
No, but I remember we would do remember the guys' dinners we'd go to, and there was one.
Oh yeah.
The one where we brought families there, and I remember Marissa had Barron, and Barron was like a baby. And so Baxter comes, and while we're all wanting dying, the baby starts crying, Baxter just gets up, and he's walking the baby around. I don't remember how old he was. I guess he would have been 10?
Well, Barron was a baby. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
maybe 10,
Barron's
12?
13. Yeah.
And so we're at we're at a restaurant, nice restaurant, and he's just.
What am I bringing these kids to nice restaurants for? What the hell's my problem?
Oh no, no! It was Cheese's Hotel. It was still a nice restaurant, but it wasn't
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still nice. Don't get me wrong.
Go by real quick.
No, but I thought it was, and that he was very.
Yeah, he's a good. He's aight.
He's good people.
He's
good people. Let's put it that way.
Pay me back my money, son.
Money.
No, I'm just playing around. No, I mean, I
everything
lend
is-
that guy money all the time.
No, well, that's the thing.
It's like, it's like you have these kids now and they're small and they just eat you out of house and home and that's great. And they finally leave and you're like, oh, great, they've left now. But then when they come back, they just do grocery shopping in your cupboards anyways. And then you just get random notes like, I overspent this month, blah, 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 flow me a couple hunch. It's like, I mean, that's why I sit here every day and do this. So, but yeah, no, it's good times. And yeah, I hope everybody out there, whether or not you're drinking whiskey or not, enjoy Mother's Day weekend. I mean, it's probably one of the better ones around here. We High Park just had cherry blossoms. That was insane, having a look at all those, and that was a lot of fun. So again, and the weather. I mean, this is one of my favorite times of the year because the weather is turning and just getting to be so nice outside. So, all right, the NASDAQ's coming back up to the top. I said we were going to look for a short if we got near VWAP, and it looks like it might be getting up there soon. So we're going to start looking. Ooh, Evander Woody has 4K ETF on the mind, ETH. That'd be nice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing we were mentioning there. And look, if you want to get those best odds, everybody, the top tier odds, or just whatever Sean says for the Leafs, then you got to go to ProfitX. This is going to give you peer-to-peer picking, OpenAI access for automation, cost-efficient trading of your plays all in one place. You're trading your favorite sports, and that action is unbelievably, it's efficient, it's easy to do, we've used it before. You make offers, match plays, you can manage risk in and out during the event if it happens to be a tournament or the playoffs, and you're going to be able to exchange your picks in and out. It's just like trading, everybody. It's a smarter and faster way to play with some of the most competitive odds. Some of the most. I have not seen better odds. Maybe there are, but I have not seen them. Use the code TRADERTV and get the 2% cash back sign-up offer up to $300. Shout them out. We'll try to figure something out for the Leafs. I think it makes.
I'm going to look at it right now.
Yeah, I'll let you. I haven't looked at it today. I wanted to just pick them because I'm a homer for the money line, but then the over/under.
You always do.
No, I'm a homer. Type
we had the over, so we had the money line the first night, then we had the over.
I'm a homer.
So we're 2 for 2.
I'm not very good betting on my team.
What about the NBA?
Because I basically always want to just pick my team to win. I don't even care about this. I don't do the spread nonsense. I'm betting on the Jays. I'm just going to bet them to win. And or I'm going to bet like my favorite player to hit a home run or just some utter nonsense that you're throwing your money away and just to enjoy the game.
I mean, that's the only reason I bet. Like when I'm talking about betting, I'll throw down like $20 or like on the series, like a couple $100, something like that. Like it's kind of just like, as Neil mentioned there, to have a little bit of fun. Yeah. But we'll do some looks at that. Okay, let's just get back to the market just real quick right now. Are there any names? Yeah, so TQQ is going. Yeah, I know. So we should have been short. I was saying like if we get up to this level, we could short it again, and I would say we'd have a look there. I said 59 change. We got to 50. I mean, we could still come back up, so I'm going to wait for that anyways. VWAP right there. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try the short into the close. So that's a 59, our ultimate out. I'll just use up here. I mean, if we break 59.40, so this is what I'm kind of doing right now. So I'm looking over. I don't like to trade my net per se, but I do like to not take unreasonable risk and like give the whole day back on one idea, right? When we've had those trades. So I'm not just going to like layer into this. There's no real reason for me to think that this market's going to absolutely collapse. But if we can top up the day, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not going to take a trade that I don't like. So this trade I like, sloping down right there, the 200 period. We've held it, so that's a little bit of a problem. But we're not going to get up there unless we hold this. So hopefully we can come back in. I'm going to start the offering rate here at 20. Try to take two units. So if normally I'm in 2 or 3 units, it'll be a little bit of a lighter position there. But I'll take two units here and see about getting stopped out around 59.40. So I'm going to sit right now at 59.20. Not even that little wick high. That's only 13s. We're going to go up here into this level, maybe 17s or 18s. We'll sit there. We'll see if we can get a fill. Then we'll take another one at VWAP, which is not that far away from there, which is 25. And I'm just parsing these trades. And then if they work, they work. If they don't, the stop is there. We get out and that's enough, right? So we did get stopped out of our Tesla while this was all happening, and it was a couple minutes ago. It came crashing in, right? We got out there when it broke the 200 period, then got out there for no loss. but also no profit on our last probably 10 or 15% of that trade. I mean, look at all the outs that we have on the way up. So that was good. I wish we would have had more at 301. But again, when you're buying, like this is some of that ratio that we're talking about and why you would need to use some charting is that like when you're getting long here at 297 and getting out at 301, that's $4. Like no matter really how many shares you hold all the way back, as long as it's not, 60 or 70% of your position, something like that, then you're doing pretty good let's get those orders out. Then you're doing pretty good on those levels. So yeah, Tesla falling back in. I still think this looks like a long to me, actually. But if we're thinking short, what about a break right there of 296? I could do that against 298, you see? So that's like, you see? That could be a trade right there that I'm going to look at actually. Yeah. This is actually maybe better than the TQQs for the short, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I'm kind of stuck in my ways right now to think about what we want to do. But we'll watch them both and see if that TQQ trade will come in for us. We're already red on this stock today, actually. We went long early right here. And lost when we put it on. It was on our note, on our sticky note, 59. We had lost on that one. I think we'll try it again. We'll try it again.
So like the only thing, I'm in at Palantir, but I told you like it wasn't that mean reversion just not happening right away. We're in Apple, it just reversed. This broke the trend line and then held the prior high. So there's the trend line break. It kind of did a bottoming tail candle off VWAP, and then you hold the line. Once it confirmed that our resistance is good, which is like 199. It's this one here. It's like 199.25. So there's sellers where you want there to be sellers. So jump in at 99 a couple times, but it's bouncing off of VWAP. So take some out at VWAP. If it breaks down, respect the fact that it got bought up underneath VWAP on the last wick, and try to get some liquidity out in that next 50 cents. But this is Palantir still. Broke the trend, and look at the consolidation. It's literally doing nothing on Palantir. So yeah, that's doing nothing obviously is not gonna cut it. HIMS is still, I don't have an adjective for it. I'm not gonna say himsing again, but it's a ridiculously steep trend line. The pullback into the prior high has flat out not materialized because it continues to go. Looks like it's one of the stronger ones here this afternoon. I'm still waiting for like that bigger pullback to try to jump into the long. I see Christmas saying GME time, and every now and then.
Really?
Well, every now and then when GME gets brought up on this show, it's actually doing something. And it's got a pretty solid little bull flag on it right now. It didn't really do much in the afternoon with its strong day yesterday. Like there were no fresh highs made, so it just kind of consolidated and looked okay and not great. But the GME, if it breaks, like it has to do more than this here today. But when I look at this on the daily chart, like you could have something here if it gets above like 28.5, 29. Because it's rejected this so many times. It's making higher lows off that great support at 20 to 21 bucks. And it's trending higher. So like it could do something next week. Just remember every time it's gone to 29, it's been faded pretty heavily. But yeah, I'd put that on the watch list for next week or on your watch list. And then also remember that they're in the Bitcoin game now. So Bitcoin goes to the all-time high. How's that a bad thing for GME? Although, you know what? I have no idea if have they already bought. You know what? I don't know.
It was on there like
they said they were going
call.
Right, but like I don't know any details of how like actual ownership of Bitcoin. Like I couldn't tell you how much they own and at what
If Tariff
price.
was here, he'd just ask ChatGPT. So I'm going to ask you right now.
Yeah, I don't have it open right now. But
did GME buy any?
Because if they haven't bought
lately,
and we're at the highs, then they get no benefit of that, obviously.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it would have been in their prospectus or whatever there of that last filing. I don't know if they have to have some sort of a new filing or what, but they did release that. Yeah, you're right. So people in the chat probably will help us look for that. So I did put a stop in, a short in here on Tesla if we do break. So 296 break, we're in. That's it. I'm going to go short. And we'll probably play off the 50-period moving average. So if it does break, we're going to watch this pink line downside, okay? I'm not going to short it until we break that level. So I'm playing the breakout. And this is the thing, like, I'm just showing, like, I'm playing everything, man. We played 300 break long. We also dip bought. Like, this is what I'm talking about having different strategies, having, that winning mentality into your playbook. Like, you have to think of something may happen and what's going to be the plan of action when it does, right? It's like we dip bought this thinking that, hey, we're going to 300. We finally got some consolidation. So we went long here with this kind of a stop, and then it blasted up. We also did say that once 300 broke, we were expecting it to come back in a little bit. It did that, bang. We bought the dip again when it came back in against us, right? And so then the move started to happen. So for me, if it does break that, I don't necessarily expect it to just automatically collapse like the NASDAQ did yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back up and look at a 297 area again. So that's why you're going to have to share size accordingly, that if you are taking this 296 break, get ready for it to come back to 297. So it could come back $1 and then I'm hoping to flush, right? But you can see this 50-period moving average is coming down pretty quickly here. So I'm hoping that it either has a move soon or what? Because if the 50 period's down here when this happens, then I'm not sure, because we could break it back to the upside. I'm trying to use that as support. So in this case, it would be resistance back up. So anyways, that's what I'm looking for there in Tesla. All right, we talked about Affirm a little bit. Let's look at Lyft. So Lyft was another big stock on our minds today. It had a dip by right now. We just had that move, actually. And again, have to be on your radar, right? Like there's the 50 period right there off the open. That's good, because we're not really that close to the 200. But the 200 was coming into play right there again. So I was thinking about that little dip by opportunity back to the 50 period. So we'll see if Lyft wants to work. But Lyft's at the high of the day. So again, man, a big shout out to those of you that were in this name earlier on that believed in it. Meanwhile, what, Uber's probably falling down?
No, meanwhile, Uber's having a terrible day.
Yeah. Is it?
Well, okay, terrible is not the right word.
The NASDAQ is down, Uber's up.
Incredibly, well, I'd say a disappointing day, because Uber is holding the lows, but it's doing absolutely nothing with it. Like this, it's just like algo control on Uber the last couple of days, unfortunately. So look, Lyft is, let's be real. I think a lot of what's happening with Lyft has to do with where the stock is relative to where Uber is. Uber just failed a 52-week high. So that's why it's weak right now. And I don't think it's because Lyft is better than Uber. It's great that they made a profit, but it has a big short float. It had a big short float for a reason, and maybe you retest some of those highs. But I'm not going to get tricked into following that one, because every time it gets to like 1920, they just sell, 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 sell. And nobody is selling hymns. It's just not happening, and it just continues to go higher and higher and higher. Yeah, getting a bigger dip is starting to get a little bit more unlikely in HIMS at this particular point. And Apple reloaded off that same high. This is like 199.25 or so, but this time it's not getting back into VWAP. So it's actually trending back into that prior high. We just reloaded it. If it breaks out that top, we got to jump out of this bad boy. HIMS looks like it's the one that's going at this moment that I can see the most. Uber is just taking a much needed chill pill. Scott, I 100% agree with you. I'm doing nothing with Uber in my long term. I'm not selling in front of highs. I'm not buying it here. I just think I think it's a hold. If I was going to do something after earnings, I would certainly wait until next week.
All right. Well, new position.
Heyo.
Wake up, America. All right, so we're in TQs now. So this is that short that we had sort of wanted to get. So now we'll wait, man. If we get 25s, we get 25s. And that is that trade. Did I just get filled on something else right there? No, it's still the same. Okay, all right, just an update quickly. We did take out some Google there, as it looks like the market was trying to get back upside. So I just have one small piece left. If we do break out through 153, we're out of this one. Taking out the 200 period, see you later. We've done really well on this position, but we got most of them out. First of all, a lot of the outs are right here at the pre-market low for $1. That's for sure. And then as we collapsed in, we still did have obviously a decent chunk and was able just to let it fall, man. And that's what we're doing when the market comes back in. We're going to let it do that. So nice move down in there for Google. And then now just covering at these same spots. If we do take a 153, I mean, my stop order on this, we didn't really even have one because it just got going immediately and never went against us. So I'm going to put the stop order for the first time now. And that's going to be a 153.01 break. Out. So we just put that order in, and then now if the tank happens, then it's downside. Looks like Tesla is still going upside, so we may not have to worry about that break right now of 295. That's not coming into play. The TQs, that position's already ready to go. If we do fall back into 59, like just looking to see where we might want to get a piece out, we say this, man, we always want to get something out, even if our ultimate target is down into here. 58, like down into this area here. 58.70 would be, a good area. And remember what we did yesterday, right? We had to withstand that's this morning. We had to withstand a little bit of chop, and we actually got stopped out initially when that level broke yesterday. And then we had to get it again, and then it fell once we got that other top. So that could happen to us now if we do take that out, but that's why I'm kind of giving it up here. That would be a clean break of VWAP. So I'm going to average this in, at 25. So we're getting close to that average right now, which is that top. That's VWAP, and then downside. So, we'll sort of put our money where our mouth is and go short a little bit right there on the TQs and hope that it winds up working out for us. But yeah, that's going to be that trade. And then out of some Google there, and really that's about it, man. I mean, not much else is, tickling the old fancy right here. Just trying to wait to see if anything was going on in the market. It looks like the market's going higher. So I'm just going to sort of mess around with the TQs. Right now, Tesla's going back. I might just cancel that short sell now in Tesla. I mean, it has a lot of work to do. Now Tesla, oops, I'm not even on Tesla. Okay, by the way, the TQs are coming back in a little bit. I said I'd get something out if we come back in. All right, we'll get out at 10%. But there goes Tesla. Look at that, nice move up. So we get stopped out there, it's fine. And then right there, a nice move coming back in to the upside now for Tesla. I'm not shorting it. So yeah, we've already picked our poison now by shorting the TQQs. And we'll wait. So we're waiting for 59.05. I just put 10% there.
Yeah, well, we just broke the resistance level on Apple, so I jumped out of it. My stop was in place. So even if it does come back in, it's going to have to do something distinct underneath VWAP because it looks like we're just holding this upward trend line. And it actually, yeah, see, BSO just said the same thing why I'm not reloading this on a... Sometimes if I get wicked out on a level, I'll jump right back into it, but the Apple trend line breakout. So it's breaking out of the downward trend. That's the other way of looking. Whoops. I don't want to lose the chat there, so I'm just going to get that back. No, the Apple trend line break is another thing that's going on here. So if you do this, there it is. Just something along these lines. Like, see the obvious downward trend, bottoming tail candle. Since that moment, like I wanted to play the reversion back into here, but since that moment, you've really been trending to the upside. So there's only so much that I want to fight it. Because I'm not saying you'll have like a HIMS moment, still a New York stock. But sometimes when either you respect or break a trend, you start to see acceleration at this time of day. HIMS has already done it, really just chopping around inside what I think is a resistance level, all the reason why I don't want to be long. This is where it was at the close before that dump at the end of the day. It was yesterday, the dump in the futures, wasn't it? Because
yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, no,
had that move. Yeah.
Okay, so but that's why I'm saying this level in HIMS where it's trying to break away from. This is when the market took that last dump, and there was consolidation here. So it needs to break out of this little malaise, and then you can run into that high. But I'm not going to reload. I'm not going to reload over in that Apple trade just because it's looking like it's incredibly strong.
Tesla.
Where is Tesla?
Yeah, 299. Nice little upside move there for Tesla. Okay, so we're in this name right now. So we'll see if the futures do this or not. Remember where our out is going to be is 40s. So yeah, it's going to, sometimes we're just in stock just because, but this trade I don't mind. Well, we're never in just because, but for this trade here, it would also not surprise me. I mean, the NASDAQ turns green just now on that VWAP break. So to short momentum could be a problem, which is why I'm talking about, okay, here it goes, the amount of units that we're using and things like that. It looks like it's going to be a nice little upside move there since we had broken through VWAP. Typically, if you're going to short against VWAP, you'd like for it to come up to it, dance around, and then eventually start to go back to the downside. This is not really dancing at all. It just took it out like it wasn't even there. So again, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about charting. Like, it's just a line on a chart. So now I have to say to myself, like, how much pain do we really need here? Because this little line o' mine isn't working right now. So it's going to go to the upside. We will wind up giving some back, obviously, here as we break higher. But, to each their own. This is going to be a losing trade. We've already lost, looks like it anyways. We've already lost there trying to trade this. And it's funny that I now write down short when initially we were long 59 to 59.50 here on the TQs on our note. So we have changed up our mind just a little bit. Our average price right now, 21s. So we're looking to take about a 25-cent hit on the breakthrough 40s. And yeah, it would suck, but we've had these trades on before and giving back a little bit, I guess, of what we made yesterday during the same time frame. But it's only 310.
It's
So
still a bit
we'll have
early.
to, and I'm just not going to give this more room.
You know what's awake?
GME?
No. AMD.
Oh, AMD.
Like I was looking over, like I always have 4 charts up whenever you see me look to the upside. And one of them all day long has been this kind of, like this is NVIDIA. This is NVIDIA doing nothing while the market's breaking out. I'm like, well, what's in the chip space that we can look at? And then I saw in the chat, AMD's going, and it looks pretty good. Like if this can, like it just broke out that local high and has been holding trend. This seems like something you can at least join. You got 103 even, which plays out there. Alex L.
38.
Tell me that's true. SMR and Oklo are going again. All right, so I'm gonna just sort of figure out what I want to do here. I want to be long 103 in AMD, but yeah, I need I shouldn't say I need. I want SMR to do something. Right. That's why when anybody puts that name in there, and I'll get to the chart in a quick little second. I just want to get I want to get a dip buy on AMD, and then throw a stop underneath the prior support level, and then we can look at Oklo and I mean SMR is the one I care about because that's the one I'm in. What's it doing? High a day, please. High a day. Oh, there's news. What just? Obviously there's news here. Well, yeah, I mean, something's happening here.
Is there?
No, well, look, that's the biggest volume spike of the day, and I didn't hear anything.
Up 60 cents?
Up 60 cents. But it's not, percentage-wise, it's not a huge move. Maybe it's something else is moving more here and bigger tape. Oklo's got much. Here we go. Now I hear it.
They're just talking about Oklo.
Yeah, all I hear is spiking to the highs, but clearly OKLO's got the bigger move here. Trump administration report, and then they don't say what. So potential.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Speeding up construction of nuclear plants.
Didn't we already hear that earlier in the week?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We okay. So I took a little bit more there at 40 on the TQs. We just covered some at 30s. So if you're wondering what's up with that, yeah, I was just like, okay, we're just dancing around here. So we'll try. I only put on another like 25%. So my average price didn't change that much. So we just covered a little bit there at 30. Let's wait to see about this story. And Adara has it at the desk.
So whether or not this is actually new, I think either way, the fact that it's circulating now on social media could be the reason this is running. But the headline itself is New York Times reporting that the Trump admin is considering executive orders to speed up the construction of nuclear power plants. I also want to mention Oklo, especially getting a ton of social media attention. A lot of people talking about a flag breakout, including such figures as Kunal Desai, who is he's a public figure here on Trading X or Trading Social Media. I know he was on our podcast at one point, but he just posted about Oklo a minute ago, so lots of people are looking at OKLO right now, in addition to this headline about apparently executive orders aimed at speeding up the construction of nuclear power plants, as reported by the New York Times, circulating right now. I'm going to keep looking into this, but this New York Times article looks brand new. It's from 8 minutes ago, so back to you.
Okay, I'd swear there was a similar headline earlier in the week, and look, they're obviously fantastic. They're fantastic-looking charts on the daily if you're looking for a potential consolidation breakout. But like looking at SMR, and again, I'm looking at SMR first because I'm in it. 18 looks like a good break. Oklo's doing something very similar, but they're all inside the range. I'm almost inclined to want to fade this, because I don't think this is anything new if you're not breaking any new highs.
Bring it down. Hopefully this will start to happen now. It's a trade we just put on. I told you that we were going to do this. So we wind up having a little bit more than 2 units. We have about 2.5 units right now, and fine by me now that it's working. I mean, we were a little bit stressed up there, but I can't keep saying traders are going to trade and we don't, and I don't respect some of the levels that I put down. So, all right, we're going to do that, and we're going to watch out. Look, it could still blow up. I just got out at 30%. On this move down to basically flat this trade. It's not like it's a huge trade. We were short at 27s there after the reload, right? I mean, we talked about that. So even if you didn't get any out, we're just flat on this trade right now. But we did cover a little bit, making a little bit of profit, but nothing to write home about. Let's see if we do get that move lower. The 50-period moving average is right here at 07s. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of love down there first. I'm waiting at 59.15s to hopefully we'll just get a little bit of a move there. Take our 13 cents, because right now we are going to get stopped out on a 45 or so break. So we're still there. We're waiting for that to happen. And if it does, bad. But if we do get that move down, you know, we're just trying to stack up a little bit here today, and we could go reverse stacks if we get stopped out. So I wanted to make sure that we are able to take some profit here as this continues to move around the market. And you just see that movement even on an SMR, on just a New York Times report that
It's already back down.
right, exactly. So yeah, and that's
You had to short it on the way up.
yeah, just to what Neil was talking about there, it's already coming. I wasn't even looking at it, but there it is, pulling back down again. So this market's going to be very jittery here, especially as we are in the hour of power. But I'm fine with going short, man. We just talked about that. So if it comes in for me the rest of the day, then great. We'll do that. We're at 15s right now. I want to see get 18s. Okay, get a little bit lower here. I just want to. Are we just resisting this 20 marker right now? Okay, I'm gonna put some out at 19 then. Get me. We're bidding ARCA right now. Okay, there it is. Yes, sir. Okay, get me those 15s right now. All right, man, this is another spinning name right now here for the TQ. So hopefully it spins around a little bit and then drills itself lower. It just resisted. So that was a good out there at 19. We're just sort of massaging this trade. Would like for it to really come back in, but I don't know. This is that wick right there just got held by VWAP. So we are a little bit worried about that. We're just hearing that Lyft shares now still going. Rivian apparently going as well. Tesla trying to take down 3 bills again at some point, I feel like. That's where VWAP is. So we'll see if we can take $300 and end the day north of that. I mean, obviously, if the futures are going to rip up, we'll wind up losing on that trade. I don't know if we will or not, but hopefully Tesla, for those of you that are long, I'm still looking at that 297 area right down here that we've supported. So good trade so far. You're $1.50 in the money if you've took that. We did take it, but not this last time. So congratulations so far here. But yeah, we're just going to focus right now. We're back on the TQs at 20s again to see if we could just take this 8-9 cents and then leave like 70% of the trade on for hopefully a downside move. But that's my only position right now. As NVIDIA, we've sort of worked our way around that one. Google, we just took a piece out. We have like 2% left. So if that comes back down there, we'll cover it. But right now, my focus is just right here on the futures.
Yeah, exactly. And my focus is going to be on the HIMS, which is now trend breaking. So it did a long upward trend. It never really gave that pullback initially on the breakout that I would have liked, but it just closed underneath the trend line. VWAP's at 50.40, which is like $1.25 away. So it's got lots of room to the volume weighted average price. As a matter of fact, I'd respect that 51 a little bit more than that line in the chart because that was the supply zone, and supply zones, to me, on stocks, they're going to matter a little bit more. I don't want to chase it too far. I'd like a price in the 70s if we can even get it, and I'm just going to leave it in. We can always get picked up. Yeah, SMR, that reversal was too fast. Like at the point at which you're like, oh, that doesn't seem like it should be making it run, it had already pulled back rather significantly. And now all of a sudden you can't get it here. I can't pronounce that name, but I'm glad you're short HIMS right now. Oznilki Roke? Maybe that's what it is, great short HIMS. Yeah, I'm trying to get the trend break, but at this point, you're seeing it just glide away. I never want to chase it too far. Generally speaking, like there's a bar that closes underneath the trend line, and there's the break of that prior bar. And that's where I sort of draw the line is in terms of the entry that I'm going to want, especially if I think the move is to 51, not necessarily. If I think it's to VWAP, then you can chase it as far as you want because VWAP's so far away. But I think it's to the $51 level, so I want to make sure I get it 60s or 70s for sure. You're right, Tesla does seem to be going a little bit higher here as HIMS comes back to the downside. It hasn't closed this bar. I could still get picked up. I don't want to completely give away. I'm just going to leave the orders in there, see if we get them. But this is what I meant about SMR. Like by the time you're like, oh, do I have locates? Are we going to short this? Where am I shorting it? And we've already given up 70% of the move on SMR. Right back in. Might be a bounce play off VWAP. That's always a play worth looking at because 17 was a supply zone. But with only 40 minutes to go, everyone's saying go back and look at Palantir. Oh, yeah. We're adding into this one. And then, but the long was really at 15. It's like NVIDIA, right? Like there's a big difference when you wait for the right level. The long was at 15. Like I'd be more angry that I trailed out of the 15 long than trailing out of the 16 long. Trailing out of the 16 long and what I thought was going to be a little bit of a weak afternoon, I can live with. But trailing out of the 15 long at 115.70 is the one that's no good. Or taking the VWAP long, like that was the worst one because I got into it at VWAP and I didn't even have my stop order in yet when it broke. Like I got it. the next candle happened, and then it broke right underneath, and I'm like manually punching out for like, it's not like that move there is about like 40 cents, but there's a difference between 25 and 40. If you do that every single time, it adds up. But yeah, now all of a sudden Palantir wants to go, for sure. Mayank, well, usually I'll see the super chats, but I did not notice it. Is there another one? I can always double check for you. Fan funding, appreciate you, Mayank. It's all good. But I see the one, Sean already addressed that one. So the first bottle of whiskey we already talked about, and then do we see super chats? Yeah, we absolutely do. So let's go. No, we always see the super chats out there, Mayank, to the best of our ability.
Okay, so what's up, David? Here we go. 20 cents in the money. So good little trade here happening for us on the NASDAQ. And again, you know, I'm just sitting here trying to give trade ideas and tell you guys what I'm taking. So if you're going to take it with me, great. I mean, if you've been taking trades with me this week, it's been a good one. That is for sure. But yeah, nice little move here. Now I'm going to wait for 59.05 for the low. I mean, I don't know. I'm told you that my sort of target was down into here, the 200 period, which was 80s. And then ultimately, if we got something, our best I think we could get maybe would be in and around here. And I'm only saying that because it's a Friday and I'm not sure what's going to, okay, based on that, I'm going to get a 5% more right here at 10s if we could get it, because I don't want it to bounce off those lows and I miss that again. So we already got a great fill. My best fill on this trade has been 10s actually. Well, did we just get that? Yeah, we just got it again. Okay, so 10s twice. We got our 15s and there it goes. Like, I just hope that, you know, one guy, Charles, we know him, he told me when I was teaching all the kids, he's like, you know, often those who teach can't do, you know? And I remember, and I want to thank Sebastian, everybody in the chat there, for talking about how, you know, articulate and how I talked about what the strategy was going to be there, and then we actually did it. So ever since I heard that, and this was probably like 15 years ago plus, it's always stuck in my head that I wanted to try to, you know, change that. And what we're showing you live right now is exactly that, is trying to explain the trade and then also like look at anything you guys have, right? Which is why the super chats, which Neil was talking about, is so important. Like, you know, we need to see that, and then hopefully be able to help you guys and then show you, you know, what is possible in this. So, you know, I really do take that to heart. So that's going to be a good one. I'm out of half now, by the way, of this TQQ move, waiting for lows. But now I don't want to turn and this is another thing here. Everyone can maybe do their own thing here, but I was actually debating stopping out maybe now if we take this high. But, you know, I'm just kind of giving back money that we've already sort of made here today if that were to go down. So I'm not like super worried about anything right here. I mean, it's been a good day. We're almost at the highest spot we've been at all day for myself. So it's been a good one. And if these TQs continue to fall down, then good for that. But I don't know. We're just relaxing and chilling out here. Oh, David, I said you said the super chat and I didn't read it.
Yeah.
Okay, so your Weight Watchers, which is WW International, puts her way in the money. There you go, man. We talked about the minute that lost $1, you probably want to go short again. So I don't even know the price of them, but the question you're asking, and if I'm going to, again, put on the teacher hat here, it's up. This has nothing to do with, I don't know how we could ever really answer this. You know, should I just exercise them at this point to take profits? I don't know enough about this company to know like what exactly bankruptcy means for them. Are there other suitors out there that may come in and take them out? And then all of a sudden you're screwed because maybe the stock gets listed and gets back up above that $1. So I always think that when a company is in sort of bankruptcy mode there, what's up, David? Here's the question I'm answering. I think you should take profits. And I'm not even sure what strike you're at or what you're doing, but I don't know. If it goes down to pink sheets, that's going to be another story. I think they'll execute automatically if that happens.
I also don't think. When was the last?
We just got out some
pretty much
17,
never see. You never see something go to like zero. They just, when a company goes bankrupt, when was the last time we actually saw you get it all the way, like it actually go down to zero? Like, the fact that it's even at 37 cents, like that's great. I don't know how many times we've seen this before. Like by the time it's like, well, what are you looking for? It's going to get delisted at some point, and sometimes there's like this late rally.
I'd say you want to get out before it gets delisted.
That's what I'm saying. Usually you want to get out before. I know one time there was. I want to say his name, but there was a dude we know who had like a big short on something, and then it went to the OTC and did some like crazy rally. And yeah, you don't want that. And I don't think necessarily it could go to zero, I suppose. But like, what else are you looking for? Went from $1 to 37 cents. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a difficult. You can't. No one ever went broke.
It's kind of crazy looking at charts because like a story can come out on Monday that completely changes that whole thing.
And they just announced a bankruptcy. Like this week.
I mean, some people in the chat were saying the same thing as us, basically. Like, don't let it get delisted. Don't be too greedy. I mean, the other thing too is that if you only have, like, sometimes if you only have one out, like maybe you only have one contract, you know, then you're saying, okay, it's not like I can hold the rest of them. So that would be another piece of the advice is we don't know how many you have. Like, if you want to get out of 2/3 of it, then I think that's fine. I don't know. Thanks for the question, David. And I think that
appreciate it.
You know, I've rode Fisker to zero and not gotten out and. Probably, I don't even know what's up with those shares. So, all right, I am getting out though on back to real trading, of course. There it is, and shout out to Real Trading, who we're trading with, good name. We're getting more out. So right there, we got a great fill at the 50-period moving average, right? So now we're just gonna wait to see if it falls back in, but I did get some more outs right here at 17s. So a few more outs at 17, putting in our pocket 13 to 15 cents. Now we'll see if we can make that move lower. My next bid now is at 59.05. And for that, it's 15% of what I have left. And then we'll wait to see if we can get a lower move. But I am out now of 60% of this trade in total. So, you know, even if it rips up to the top side, it'll roughly be a flat trade now. So, yeah, that's about it. I mean, look, everyone wants, I can look at Palantir, I think, especially over the last little while, it's definitely been a top money-making stock. And we already rode that today, and it was bad early. I have a quick, oh, wow. All right, Palantir. I haven't gotten out of any of this.
Could it get green?
But there we lost it within the first 5 minutes. I took a shot here thinking it would hold 118. It didn't. So when it didn't, we got out, which is a pretty good thing because it went down about another $1.50 there on the downside. Look, man, the futures aren't doing anything right now.
No, not. And there's not much which is going crazy. I see Rigetti, someone saying it's
we should have just gone to keep.
I did get into, I got into that HIMS trade, so that's, I mean, it's slowly sliding down, but it's not, it was accelerating pretty quickly. When it broke the trend, there was the heavier candle. Since then, it pulled back, allowed us to jump in, and we're going to play it to 51, not to view up. I said that before. This is not a mean reversion to the volume-weighted average price, in my opinion. I think it's a little bit too far for it. And then AMD, some people call it advanced money destroyer. I actually don't. Yeah, you know what? I like that. Someone had a really good name for it. There's another really good name for it. But that being said, I kind of feel like some of the worst is in for AMD. Right? Like I'm pretty sure they're in low 20s. I have to double check after earnings because the last time I looked, it was low 20s forward PE. So it's got to be either low 20s. I don't know if it would have dropped any further than that. But it's really holding that 50 period. I keep thinking the time is near to take a swing in AMD, but I want to be really patient with it because it's been so bad. Like, it's been such a long downward trend. And look at the bottoming tail on this. You know what the real issue is? I guarantee you, the time it's a clean breakout and a clean trend reverse on AMD, it's going to be because of deal news or like a deal getting made, and you won't be able to get in it. That's my gut reaction on AMD. But for now, we're just sort of playing the dip. We allowed it to dip back in. I wanted it to hold on to this 102.80 level, try to play back into this double top. It was accelerating on decent volume before, but I also just zoomed it out. And I remember what I came to. We were looking for shorts earlier, and I was saying, yeah, there was that big short yesterday at the end of the day. Yeah. So we zoomed out a little bit, and this is where AMD was. Those are big events, and with a price that you're at that it rejects, if that holds as a key price level, like forget about a line in a chart. This was at 103.35 when everything fell apart yesterday. Where did AMD fall apart today? 103 1/3, and it did it twice to get to the low of the day. Where is it trying to break out right now? Essentially into that level. So I almost should have zoomed that out because I was just looking at hey, nice upward trend. It's accelerating. Let's buy into the dip. And I didn't zoom out, and you're running into a huge supply zone. So I think this is a scalp into the high more than anything else if you can get it on advanced micro devices. HIMS is different because I just sort of feel like HIMS, it did the trend break, trend up, and this is so far away from that double top yesterday that you break this trend, you can get to 51. And for now, it's looking okay. Rivian Millionaire says UNH have 52-week lows. It's been at 52-week lows every day this week on UNH. I still don't think you're okay to buy that one.
Which just means it's going lower, I guess.
I think you got to be patient with UNH.
Oh shit.
There'll be a moment.
Money.
Here we go. Finally starting to get to the downside right now. I mean, here go the futures. We've talked about this position. You can see, we're just chilling right now. We get our 05s there. And I actually took something at the 50 period again. I took something there at, what was this price? 11s. And then our 05s just came just banging in right now. So there it goes. Okay. All right. Well, now I don't even have a bid down here. You might as well just put it here. I didn't, the futures have not been doing anything. But again, thank you everybody for coming back. I mean, if you're here for the trades, then I think it's been a good one right there. Neil's in 2. I'm in these 3. But I just want to tell everybody, this is from, I might as well just get out of NVIDIA because I don't want people to think that I'm actually in this trade. So I'm in it, but it doesn't even matter as it breaks there. Oh, our stop was going to hit anyways. I just punched out right there. Google's fine only because it's with me right now on the market. So that's from the morning. This is going to be an all-day trade, right? This is from 9:35 right now, and Google printing up a storm right now to the downside. But the futures are all of a sudden getting right back into where I'm going to buy some 98s there. There it is. Yes, sir. We did this yesterday. We're doing it again today. So here we go, man. Nice little break on the futures. We set this up perfectly. We set this trade up when it was a half hour before the trade even happened. So patient. It's nice to see when it works out. The only sad thing is right now we only have about a quarter left. So perfect, though. It just went exactly where we went. We told you we had about 45 or 55% left. It just came right into the 200 period. So we emptied out the clip. And, now we only have about that 25% left. So, yeah, man, topping up our day near the high of the day where we have 0 LFT. But remember, we're going to have some kind of an LFT because we wound up getting stopped out right there, even though it wasn't much of a hit. It just lost from the top. Like, we could have got out a little bit better than where we were. So right now, all right, nice little move back. All right, well, I'll take out 5% of what we have now. I'll just punch the 11s and get some more out right there. Getting lighter and lighter on this one, man. Hey, this will pay for the flowers on Mother's Day and whatever else we need to do. So here we go. Hopefully this makes that move, and we'll see where we go from here. But yeah, good way to end the week for sure. It's been a busy week. The NASDAQ is in a bull market. We've already talked about that. It's more than 20% from its lows. Look, there goes the TQs. Like, this is why when levels are hit, you got to cover. I'm going to cover again a little bit more right now at 20. Like that little bump up, right? We don't need to be here if there's going to be some kind of a news story. So here we go. We'll bid some 20s. Hopefully we fall back in and be able to get that. If not, we'll stop out. And you know what? I'm not even going to stop out. I'm going to stop out right here. Right where we are, so we don't even have a loss on this last little bit. My stop is already at 46. I'm not going to change it. If it goes back up there and we wind up losing 10 cents on our last 20%, so be it. There you go. We just got filled at 20, so now we have 20% left. And yeah, a market just going up and down. Good out there on the 20 period, on the 200 period moving average. But yeah, the market's just doing its thing right now. I didn't look at the imbalances yet. Is this the third Friday? No, this is the second Friday. So we have to wait for next week before maybe we get some major imbalances. And because it's May, we'll get the other one. We'll get the Russell, I think, first, right? And then, okay.
There is one name that has a rather large sell imbalance.
Is there? I'm going to get some more out here at 10. So.
And I only chuckle because it's BlackBerry.
Oh, okay.
But there might be something going on with BlackBerry. I'll double. It's 7.6 million to sell right now on BlackBerry, which, seeing as it's only done 13 million shares, that's pretty big. But it's not moving. But if there's an index action, like, what index would it even be in? Maybe it's in like I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I'll double check to see if there's anything going on with this bad boy, because 7.6 million to sell kind of matters. Look, I just took some more out on HIMS. It's not really falling apart. AMD, as I said before, it kind of held on to the support level, but this is where we couldn't get through before. I'm going to make sure we scalp some out in front of that high. Just heard Intel in my ear. Is Intel moving?
Intel's been on something here in the last little bit.
Whoa, hey, what's going on with Intel? Why is
Intel's been going?
Why is it breaking high of day right now?
It's been doing that for a minute, man. So I don't know what's going on.
That's still my e-signal chart. Oh yeah, Intel is. I didn't even look at Intel once today. Intel is breaking out on the daily. I think it's almost go time, man. You had that Microsoft and Microsoft with the Foundry, and they've been talking about getting online with NVIDIA for some time now, and it starts to line up clients. That's going to matter for them. And it's at the point now where things are so bad, things had gotten so bad that everyone just gave up selling it. And it doesn't really dump the way it did before, unless there's a new news story. I'm not really sure why it's going here. But yeah, good look. Whoever mentioned that Intel was going. And why it is up 2% is beyond me, but this has been rallying heavy. That's kind of how it goes. Like, to me, AMD's, whatever. I mean, I can say all I want that AMD is better than Intel, but right now it's not. Like, AMD looked like it was starting to accelerate on vol. Look, buy the dip in that one, and now it's going absolutely sideways. Airy Pages, this is a no, easily. I saw this, I'm like, I gotta answer this. Thoughts on increasing your sleep to 9 hours per night moving forward? That is the easiest no you could possibly imagine. The last time every now and then I might get like 1 day over a weekend where I get 9 hours because my wife gets up with my daughter, and sometimes I'll just get to sleep in, especially since my injury. But no, I'm happy when I get my 6. Family life is just, that's what it's all about. So 9 hours would be great. When I was like an athlete at university, absolutely, that you sleep that much because you can, but 9 hours? Who the heck is getting 9 hours of sleep? That's what I want to know. Like, yeah, 9 hours would be fantastic if you can get it. Sleep is very important, recovery, especially if you're training for something. It's great for it's good for mental health as well, but optimizing sleep is about as good as I can get. Like, I try to get as much like REM and deep sleep as possible. That's why I wear a Whoop. Mostly so I can have the right behaviors to get quality sleep for my 6 or 6.5 that I do get. So obviously you're going, not Charlie Taff, it's not just people without kids. Like, there's lots of people are incredibly busy that don't have kids. Almost all the adults I know, kids or no kids, they're not sleeping 9 hours, man. That's just, it would be great. 6 or 7 is fantastic. Casey France, it's a Whoop. Like, think of it like a Fitbit that's not a watch. Like, it only monitors like health stuff. So then it's like an app on my phone, and that's pretty much all it does, right? So I use it because I've historically, I've always been a very, very, very bad sleeper. Like, I had trouble sleeping. I've always had trouble sleeping through the night, and getting quality deep sleep and that kind of a thing. So since I got this, it's helped me tremendously. It's helped me refine my working out. Like, I find I get so much more out of my workouts because I know which days I should push and which days I shouldn't based on my recovery. I believe we're going to the desk with Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by our friends at eSignal. Traders, listen up. First month free. That's right, we're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with back-testing, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips. On one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. I just thought anyone into BlackBerry? Probably not. There was something supposed to be happening. Shopify? There might be something on Shopify, but there is nothing on BlackBerry. And for anyone that's asking, we'll show this, but we have 10 minutes until the imbalance is actually hit. But the reason we showed it and mentioned it, like, there's nothing else of interest, and 7.6 million it's a lot of shares for a stock that might have like 20,000 or 200,000 on the bid maybe, and 13 million on the day. That's half the day. But you can see when you're not reacting to the imbalance, there's more or less nothing to see. Intel is still blasted. It's still going. If there's no news, how is this not going to be a fade? That's the first thing I think about. Like, if there's nothing happening, then I should be fading this. Like, AMD has stopped going. Thankfully, HIMS is sliding down. So while AMD is like out of the money, like 14 pennies or so is a $100 stock, HIMS is about the same in the money on a stock which is half the price, which is good. But I want that continuation play. Like, I want it dropping down in to the 51 to 51 quarter area. That's what's going to matter a heck of a lot more. If there's anything else moving, I just see Intel flying higher and keep waiting to see why it's going. Yeah, it's an algo move. I agree with you. Like that's an algo buying. It's not even crazy. It's not even ridiculous volume here. Like it's why it seems like it's fugazi. Like it's good volume, but it's not following through either. Like when I see like dropping in vol like this, then I almost want to take a shot at the reversion on Intel. So you know what? Look at that volume. Topping volume, lower volume, lower volume. I'm gonna try and get in. You're risking 5 cents here on Intel. If I can get it at 37 or 36.5, then I just risk it into the high and risk it for the biscuit, like they say. So Intel, I don't see any reason why it's doing this. So I'm going to take a shot at it. I already have my stop in, so if I get filled, here we go. Like it just came through 37, so I got filled at 37 when it went through the level. Yeah, so I'm going to take it here. If it does like a stair step down, I can try adding to it on the way to the downside. If it does another bottoming tail candle, I'll throw a bid in front of like the 25 level. Just to make sure. If it does a huge move down, we're going to get it down there. But hopefully this one will work because AMD, that broke our support level. So we bought the dip to try to play it into the high, broke support, we're out. Thankfully, we found ourselves into a short for sure. Oh, here's a good question. Here's a good one. By the way, anybody, if you want to engage with us, ask questions of the chat, ask questions of us, anybody. It's a subscribers only chat. So you have to be a sub. So make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe, and there's all kinds of stuff. You can engage with a great community. Bears versus Bulls, fantastic. Dara posts news here as well. But if you buy shares over your original average cost and sell the same amount of shares later that day, will you end up selling your lower cost shares or higher cost shares first? So I can tell you what happens here. It is first in, first out, price irrelevant. So it doesn't matter whether you average up or average down, whatever you buy first, you sell first is how it works for us. So like if I average down in a trade, then as I get out, my price gets better. If I average up in a trade, meaning I buy and then I buy higher, then my average price is going to get worse as I cover. And I can only tell you how things work here. I see Tesla's making a run, just trying to get to VWAP, and Dara's got some news for us. So thanks for the shout out on Intel. It's a mover.
No news, but I just want to let you guys know we do already have our TTV research calendar for next week and for Monday already up. It looks pretty light, as you can tell here on the economic data side of things with just one Fed speech. But I want to mention and emphasize we do have tons of interesting earnings after the close on Monday. Monday.com, of course, reporting on Monday, as it tends to do, but that's in the morning after the close. We get Archer Aviation, we get Hertz, we get Rigetti, we get ASTS, we get NewScale, SMR, and we get Blink Charging. So this is basically a who's who, a heavy hitters list of some of these small cap gappers and retail favorites. Hertz especially has been on watch as of late, so this could be a pretty big night after the close on Monday. Check out this whole list and our weekly calendar on X at TTV Research. I will be with Sean on the Market Recap show at 4 p.m. Join us there as well. Back to you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, I'm back. Thank you, Adara, for all of that. Yeah, we're going to go over a bunch of stuff. We should have Steve Tileman coming through from Trade the Pool as well. Big Steve in the building. All right, so I don't know if you've shown the imbalance location. Oh, we did. We showed BlackBerry.
It's literally BlackBerry.
Not much going on over there. I wanted to look back on DraftKings before we headed out. I just took some more out on this TQQ trade. Now the futures are almost doing nothing again as we're starting to barcode one more time. That's why you got to take the dips, you got to take the rips and play them accordingly. First important thing is find a bias one way or the other. And on DraftKings today, I was biased long, and it worked out great until it didn't. And this is when I was sort of going on these rants, about risk management and share size management and all that kind of stuff. And then, we were talking about, both of us were talking about making sure that, you do have those stop orders and whatnot. So like right there on DraftKings, the minute we broke through 36 again, I didn't even want to play with this bottom wick to that bottom there of 35.70 or so. But, boom, boom, we were able to get out there once it broke through 36. I did give it 10 cents on that break because we took about 10 cents there. And sometimes the math is just that simple. So I wanted to go over that again, just to explain to you that you can always take winners on stock and you can always take losers, but it's how you manage the trade once you're in it. that really does matter. So, yeah, going into, Oxy, why is that flashing on my screen? So we did see SMR dancing around there.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, Occidental and nothing, I guess. I'm not even sure why that would have just showed up right there, but Occidental, not much, up 1.75%. Was oil dancing today? Because CLM, let me go to the M contract here just to see what's going on. That is
Not enough to make XLE better.
June. Yeah, this is light sweet crude, so that's what we don't want the micros. Oh, 61, okay. The last time we looked over here at oil, we were talking about a much different price. It was $58 a couple days ago. So a nice little bump up there in the last little bit on oil. And I think, again, if China can get resolved a little bit here over the weekend, more production in China means more demand for oil because, again, those factories are going to get fired back up again, and you can buy all your Temu stuff for 85% off. And look,
That's
Sharif's
Sharif.
new favorite word, you know what it is over the last month and a half?
Weasel? No, that's old.
That's been his favorite word for a minute.
Oh, give me as quick as you like.
Yeah, that's more saying it's one word, de minimis.
Huh? Oh,
He always talks about that. He says that $800 thing. So,
I should-
yeah, that's a good word. Thank you, Sharif, for bringing that to our
thinking of
attention
old
over and over again. But look what just happened in the queues right now. It's another little bit of a money trade right there. As we take out another 40 cents there, as we break back down below 59. Let's just hold this. We don't have nothing to lose at this point. Let's see what the futures want to do here into the end of the day. But yeah, as China comes back on board, we should see oil start to dance around a little bit again. So hopefully that comes through. And then I know you're tired maybe of me speaking, but I want to, Neil just spoke for a minute there. Well, I was back. I actually ran into the lawyer. But there it is, nice downside move. No, everything's fine. He was just saying what's up to me. We said Happy Mother's Day and so on and so forth. And then he was like, yo, what's going on? No, he didn't say anything to me about that. There's a nice move down, 306, 307, 308. He was actually checking out the Studio 8 renovations.
everyone's all curious
yeah,
about
right
it.
now they're hyping around. We got to kick Obi out of that spot, but I don't know how much longer he's going to be over there. Okay, Obi, take it easy, my guy. There he goes. Yeah, no, we already showed you guys where Obi is, and those of you that are wondering, he used to wave right behind us, but now, I don't know if we could show Fabian. There it is, perfect, there we go. Look at that. All of now, yeah, I said what's up to him already. All of the drinking has started already.
I know.
All of those tables now gone, and we have those beautiful chairs hanging around right
You
there.
might want to wave, boys.
There it is.
No, they can't even tell.
No, that's fine. You can see they're busy trading, obviously. Yeah, that's what's going on right now. I'm just sitting here spinning some cash.
They're
Those
trading
guys
with their
are-
brains, with their
thinking
with their
out-
mind. It's like
Yeah, it's all good. So
they're using the force.
here we go. Let's just wait to see what
You
happens.
can tell it's Friday, obviously. One of our former traders.
Obi has a great spot. Obi has the best spot. Like that would be where I'd want to be. He's locked in a corner over there.
It's pretty sweet in that corner. I have to admit, like, and I've always
Money's going somewhere.
I've
over
always
there.
preferred that to trade in the corner as well.
There he is. Hey, Obi, wave.
He's got
We
like
got him. So there, here, we're right there. Like there's Ramin
He's
editing.
got 8 monitors over there. 8 monitors? You don't need 8 monitors, bro.
He does. He needs.
You don't
10.
need 8 monitors.
He needs 12.
You don't need 8 monitors.
Right, he's diversifying his losses, he said. Well, he needs one for Pokemon Go. He needs one for whatever else he's doing over there.
He's not doing Pokemon.
Right there. No, I've seen this man play some games. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, in the middle of the day, man, I mean, look, we go for walks. We do our own thing. I do think that there is a spot for, I just don't want him to take up the bandwidth. You know what I mean?
Well, that was.
Oh, but we're actually on a different line, actually, anyway.
It's fine now, but like back in the day when things weren't as fast.
People want to know, is Max
there
Max
were rules.
expected Obi today?
It's poker night. It's
Yes,
it's
Max
poker night
is
tonight. So a bunch of traders are rolling back through the floor because of
Max
poker.
goes. Max just shows up in his Lambo. I got to find out the color of his Lambo. We have it at that teal. What is that? Teal?
He's a suit man now. Yeah, he always comes through.
I like the rims there.
Comes
I like
back
the
all
rims there,
dapper.
Max. I like the rims.
Well, look. First of all, if you're gonna roll in a Lambo, you better step your game.
Yeah, I mean, that was good.
They gotta be.
Nice
spinning.
touch there, Max. If you had a Lambo, what color would it be?
For me,
Yeah.
If I had first of all, I would never have a Lambo. I'll just get
obviously,
that.
but
I'll get that out of the way. No,
what-
like even if I had the money, I would never do it.
Okay.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I'd probably go for, when I was a kid, I had 2 posters in my room that were not sports. One of them was a red Lamborghini, believe it or not.
Okay,
So
I
that's
believe
my
that.
answer is a red Lamborghini. And I had a model of a red Lamborghini that when my dad moved to Florida with Nortel, it got lost, and I have no idea. I'm so mad because I loved it. But
I'd get black.
That's what I'd go with. I'd go with red.
Black. Straight black. Just a little
Straight black,
undercover.
homie.
chilling out. I don't want to get yellow or orange or anything like that. What would you guys
Orange.
Put what you guys? Well, I was actually walking today. I saw this sick yellow Lamborghini. I looked like a brand new. It was awesome out on the street. And I was like a little flashy there, but that was really nice. Just on Bay Street there, really, really sick one. I actually think it was.
Sorry.
Awesome.
Yeah, no. And I saw, I don't know what the SUV is, but like that would be probably a lot of money for sure. But I saw like a grayish one. I didn't think that was. I feel like if you're gonna get a Lambo, yeah, you probably gotta. Maybe you do
You go
want to flash
loud.
it, or you have.
By the way, the
maybe
imbalances just
like
hit,
prices
and
or-
BlackBerry's actually 8 million to the sell side. Intel's a buy, so yeah, we're in at 37, and I can punch out 38. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Nvidia's a buy of 1.4 million. Oh, that's the wrong wolf. Yeah, that's not the right wolf. That's the other wolf. 1.1 to buy. So it's Nvidia, Intel to the buy side. 11 million on Black. It's actually growing this sell imbalance on BB. And WW is a sell of 1.8 million. As we said, they're going bankrupt. You know what? That stock might not even be here on Monday. WW. You just never know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But looks like that was something on BlackBerry. You could have just maybe sat in that on the big sell imbalance. I didn't see anything indicating it was coming out of an index. That is hefty. That's almost the entire day's worth of volume, and larger than what it was indicating it was going to come out as. It was indicated 8 million, and it's come out as 11 million to the sell side. So I just manually punched out of Intel when I saw that buy. Like, whatever, like it's basically where we got in. You don't need to fight it at that point. So, it kind of came down, gave us a fill at 30, and then bounced higher. We'll punch out flat. No, that's fill. BlackBerry's not 17 million. It is 10.7. I said 11, but 10.7 million to the sell side. And nothing is paired. The paired volume is 600K. So like the whole thing is just a big sell imbalance. If this holds at 355, that big, this is worth taking, I think. But I mean, it'll probably pair off unless there's an actual index action. Let's check again.
Yeah, again, looking to see most of those rebalances or most of those indexes or those imbalances, will take flight near the end of the day. And if they're still there near the end is sort of when you want to say attack, and you go and try to make a play on the remaining shares that are left. So Tesla does, obviously it's late in the day, so to worry about it is not going to be the right thing to do. But right there, right at VWAP, 299.50, like, we talk about lines on chart and everything, like that stops right at VWAP and then drops back and stops right at the 50-period moving average, right? But this is why it's not always in glue here because, or in stone. Like it breaks it there. So if you're trying to play that, sometimes you got to wait to see what kind of action it happens. I do like that pullback back into the 50. So I actually think that now we probably, again, not going to be enough time to do this, but the strategy for me would be back there into the 50-period moving average. Now we retest and now we break. So I would say I would take, not going to do it, but this is a good trade here to break this and continue to go now because we've just bounced off of past support levels of the 200 and the 50. So to me, with all those e-signal trading and all that kind of stuff when we're talking about charts, now I think we do take that and break it. So, I mean, just as we say it just ripped up $1, whatever it was, but there it goes. Like I was talking about that down here. Oh, well, I guess we should have took it. But now I think the break happens, 299.50 there. I'm just clearing out of everything. We just had a couple more outs right now on the TQs as it came down in. Unfortunately, we didn't get that epic collapse here, but we add to our net, so that's always good. If I cover this right now, we'll virtually be at the highest spot we've been at all day, so that's always a blessing here at 355. Happy Mother's Day.
Absolutely, and shout out to anybody who's been following Trade the Pool because traders funded by Trade the Pool have been cashing out big. Talking 5,300, 15,200, 36K, even $29,940 on one trade. And here's how it works. You pay a one-time evaluation fee starting at $47, and that's your total risk. That's it. Trade real shares, not CFDs, using up to $200,000 in company capital and keeping 70% of the profits, no margin calls, no account blow-ups. Scan the QR code you see in front of you. I don't want to say below, but it's right in front of you, everybody. And you can get 10% off to start your journey. Shout out to Trade the Pool. Link also in the description. So 355 just hit, and For now, it's still here. We just updated. It's still 11 million to the sell side on BlackBerry. By the way, next week on the third Friday, Shop is a big one. Shopify.
Oh.
So next Friday, it's Shopify. 99% sure. But anyways, next week, Shopify. But not expecting anything on BlackBerry. It has stayed. It has not paired off. So we expect, it was coming out looking like it was going to be 8. It's still 11 million. The next key time, I think usually about 358, you might see it pair off again or something happen, but I'm not seeing any pairing action on BlackBerry. It's just continuing to head to the downside. No pain. It's always sad when I see the stock go down because, you know, it was like such a great Canadian success story for so long, and it still is a story. It was a great story. Yeah. But it's how things ended up.
And we have nice things over here.
Well, most of it, too, is... So I went to the University of Waterloo, which is where RIM was founded. So I had friends that I went to school with that, you know, after the graduation, they went to work at BlackBerry. They were doing really well. And it's like one by one. This is how you... So I've been known half a dozen people, half of them in my program, economics, and some were in computers, that went to BlackBerry. You knew it was bad when all of a sudden it's like one person leaves and then another person leaves.
Right.
And then by the time it was down to the last person I knew that was there, and when you would talk to them about the company, you knew. You knew. It was one of those, no one had to say anything, you didn't want to own shares. That's the best way to think about it. Because it was the lack of, they just weren't innovating and they weren't keeping up with what was going on. And internally, people started leaving because they wanted to be somewhere where things were happening and it was more fresh. So unfortunately, that didn't happen for BlackBerry. It did just make a bit of a bounce when this happened. It just pared down to 4 million just now at 57. So there it is. That's why you don't chase it. If it had held at 58, maybe you take a short there. But pared down to 4 million now. Robert Breedlove, if this is true, come on. Rumor on the street is NVIDIA is eyeballing Lucid. Why? Why would they be? I can't think of a good reason why that makes any sense. Why would NVIDIA want an EV name?
NVIDIA's not getting involved in Lucid because it is Saudi Arabia.
It's the Saudis.
They're not getting involved in that.
No, but
maybe.
Well,
okay, so I could say that maybe they're interested in making a deal to get some of their chips into the new automobile, but I don't.
But not NVIDIA.
Well, wait a minute. Ford, Rivian has a deal with Amazon. That's more for delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think we could figure out a better pairing for them.
Well, here, let me just put it this way. I'll tell you if it's true.
But they could buy anything they want.
I'll just tell you if it's true or not.
It would be going ham.
Okay, so here's Lucid.
It would be going ham.
Here's the volume on Lucid. I'm going to go with not true. But maybe, who knows? Who knows? I mean, that's the whole thing, right? I mean, that's why they're rumors, right? Not facts. So we'll wait to see. But there it is, man. It is a slapper to end the day right there on the futures. I mean, honestly, it's not a huge trade, but it's a good enough one for me with only 2 minutes left now. We're just starting to cover. I do have lower bids, but, I'm just going to cancel it all. There's no point. Let's just bid out right now. We'll bid out at 59 flat. We're on ARCA, our favorite one. The futures do not necessarily go into the gates of hell, but they do go somewhere. I see my favorite over there, Ramin's she's got the sweater, she's got the blanket and all of that. I do like that move as it is freezing. And Joey Chills is back in the building now. But what a nice day it is outside.
With the blazer. It's not that Joe. Okay, so first of all, I love Joe.
This guy's
Joe
too
is
much.
good people.
This guy's too much.
It's not that nice in the shade. How is it a nice day outside, but it's not nice in the shade?
No, it's not.
I'm just. But if
it's gorgeous outside. It doesn't. It's like. It's not. Do you know what temperature it is? Do you know the temperature? Yes, 15 degrees and sunny is. Okay, so
I can't argue with that.
He wants 25 plus. So basically, he's happy with the weather 2 months a year here.
No, at most. I prefer that too, but I'll be happy with what we get right now. Like it's a nice day
Joey
outside,
Chestnut over there. All right, 30 seconds left. All right, man.
Patio season. That's right, Darwin. Patio
you just worry about quantum,
Darwin.
okay, my
That's
guy?
what I'm talking about. You gotta be kidding me.
You wait for QBTS, my guy.
Love it, Joe.
All right, 15 seconds left.
I don't have to hit a button. I love this. I love
know.
the
I want this at the
automated
opening bell. Is it? Oh, it is at the opening bell. We've already.
No, I still have to hit. I hit the button on the open every single time. I love this.
Weak sauce.
Let's do it, Adara, right about now.
Yeah, good enough. right there. I guess I can cancel. We did cover the rest of our TQQ trade. All right. Again, look, man, it's been obviously a great day. I got to go over there and start to do the recap show, which I should probably already be over there. So, all right.
No, you're good to go.
Happy Mother's Day to you and yours.
Make sure you happy Mother's Day to Marissa. Make sure you pass on to Debs as well.
Yes, I'll pass it on to
So, look, man, I tell the story every single time. Like, Sean's parents are fantastic, and they were great to all of us in high school. So, we'll get that out of the way. Well, you're cool too, but your parents are awesome. George, a little scary. Something just, it was at the end of the day, and I wanted to, Tesla, that's what it was. I wanted to go over what things that happened at the end of the day. Tesla ends up closing underneath that $300 level, but still up 5%. Super strong mover all day long. The market, maybe not so much. We end up, the NASDAQ ends up just barely red on the session, so not the best look for the NASDAQ. Still don't really know why Intel was strong at the end of the day. Probably, it actually closes at the high of the day. It was good to get out of that one flat. That's what it's all about there. But we have to give a big shout out to our entire team here. It's not just, you guys see, we just showed you guys, Ramin working in the corner, but Fabian and Andre doing a fantastic job making us look and sound good. We always talk about Bears versus Bulls, but maybe not enough. The best moderator in the business. It's a fun chat, but he keeps it live and he keeps it moderated well, so that everyone in the community gets a great experience. Got to give a big shout out, of course, to the Midday Boys. To Joe and to Sharif, always making sure, A, you stay entertained, and B, you get the goods, small cappers, options, everything that's moving. I think it's fantastic, and we appreciate them so much. And a big shout out, of course, to all the viewers out there. But you know what? It's not over yet. Why? Because you still have the market recap, baby. We've got Steve Tallman coming through. That's always fantastic. I had the pleasure of getting to be on with him, and he's a great guest. You guys are going to love it. There's Adara. There's the Katina Man. There's Sean. Sharif says Katina Man. There's Sean. There's going to be Steve Tallman. Lots to review, whether it's the futures, whether it's Tesla, which is an absolute runner here today, whether it's the chips, whether it's the quantum names. It's all ready for you. Just sit back, relax, and head to the market recap.
All right, everybody, we are ready to rock and roll and from one desk to another. Thank you, Neil, for that throw. And we're ready now for the next half hour. Thank you for staying with us. I just have gold up right here. I wanted to see a nice little late day move there in the GDX, getting back up there to the upside. But hey, it started off a little exciting. We had a flurry of truths early on. And we heard something about 80% on China. We weren't sure if that was 80% of the 150 or whatever it was.
It got even better. I don't know if you heard what Caroline Levitt had to say about that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so her first comment was, it's just something he threw out there.
That's what the spy's doing.
Yeah. Okay, sure, great. That's confusing. And then she actually said, Trump never said that. And I'm like, but he did post it on Truth. So I guess that's true, he didn't say it. But he did post it. So I don't really know what's happening there, but we do know that someone posted from Donald Trump's Truth Social account something about 80% tariffs, but quote unquote, or paraphrase, it'll be up to Scott B. And he did say Scott B. That I'm not paraphrasing. He did call his Treasury Secretary.
Was it Scotty B or was it just Scott B?
It was just Scott B. I think we started saying Scotty as a joke because either way it's still very casual, but yeah.
So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, what we are referring to right there. And Caroline Levitt, of course, the White House.
Press Secretary.
Press Secretary. I was going to say White House Secretary, Press Secretary there. But yeah, we did have a very healthy amount of earnings to talk about today as well, which sort of kicked off the day with Lyft. We had Mara, which is Marathon Digital, they reported as well today. Looking over, we had DraftKings and Coinbase all reporting. And then we had the big dog barking a little bit here today. And what I mean by that is Bitcoin 1032 is where we're sitting at right now. Man, that was a great break. I mean, we can look at charts, but there's a big candle right there. We had Michael on earlier today talking about that break, and we had a little base from basically 90 to 94, 95. Once that was broken, now it's nothing but upside love now for BTC as we come back in on that name. 103 change right now for Bitcoin. So that's been a real great day. Coinbase, where did we wind up on that here later? So at near the lows, right? So Coinbase down 3.5%. Not a huge move considering what we were looking for. But I like the name. Coinbase getting beat up a little bit there today. Did have that move into the 200 period, closing near the end of the day. Let me check on Marathon Marathon Digital Oppo, right? So one downside, Marathon goes opposite and goes up, closing near the highs of the day. So, hey man, if you're going to choose a name, maybe they like some of these miners, right? So Marathon, another name. You know what name we've sort of not talked about for a minute is Riot. So Riot blockchain, another one of those. Then we also have Hut 8. Another one of those blockchain names there that we can look at here as a mining name. More into altcoins. We had some great runs today in the altcoins. Cardano, 7 or 8%. XRP, which we're long at $2 now, up to 230 and change. So a lot of things happening, but you know, a mixed day overall. The NASDAQ really had a hard time this afternoon getting going. It had a hard time all day. The market actually closes. Sure, we did have that move down. We opened up today, then we float back down. Look where we are right now, 0.01. So the NASDAQ, although we've had a great run as of late, I want to go to this and show you the daily chart, all the way back up to the 200 period moving average. I actually surprised myself today by calling this a bull market, but I think the math holds. The NASDAQ goes down there to 4. I mean, if we're going to talk about it, we have to talk about that low, 402. So in order to get a bull market, we need to be at 480, right? Because you need 20% onto 402. And right there, we closed today at 488. So to me, we are bullish right now in this market as we continue to go higher. Adair, I wanted to ask you about Eli Lilly. Did I miss a story on this? Because this has been heading to the downside off of earnings. Was it just bad earnings? Because
honestly, it was more the guidance. The earnings are pretty solid. Today, all I'm seeing is apparently they're expanding their collaboration with Purdue University through a $250 million investment. Eli Lilly and one of my other picks for the Carter Day,
whatever that was, yeah.
They both got Merck.
Okay.
I did not. One of my picks was not Merck, but yeah, I think some of these health names are struggling right now.
Okay, yeah.
I do want to mention HE earnings here. The cousin of Hims. No, I'm joking. I just thought it was a good pun.
Hawaiian.
But yeah, Hawaiian Electric. Though I guess they get in the ticker kind of similar to Hims there. The earnings in line. 23 cents per share. Sales, 744.07 million. That is down on a year-over-year basis, Sean, from 792.01 million last year. So, oof, for this situation here with HE.
Yeah, I mean, no real movement here after hours on Hawaiian Electric. I mean, volume pretty light. Today, 1.85 million, which is pretty good. A market cap of just 1.8 billion on Hawaiian Electric. Look, this weekend could be an exciting one, right? We had FXI on our mind. Like, if there is going to be some talk with China or anything to do with that, look at the movement that we've had to the downside here on FXI. I mean, it all day could not catch a bid. I mean, we just kept on going to the downside. Of course, this is the large cap ETF here in China. We'll flip over to a daily chart and look at this again. Nice move off that bottom, of course, but everything as this is, again, back into tariff land. But now we go back up there to the upside. Let's just see. I just feel like there's a lot of back and forth. Is it Scott Bessent's job to get this figured out? Is it Donald Trump's job? Who exactly? And I know they're all flying over there. There's a Switzerland. We're going to get this all figured out. Hopefully we hear more news over the weekend. For me, I'm a little nervous. I just think that if we come out flat after this weekend, where does the market open up on Monday? Because a lot of this is forward looking. And if we think that China is, on the docket to be sort of talked about, and then we come back with limited talks, where do we go? Alibaba, I think, is a short in and around this area as well, as it almost looks identical to FXI. You've had a great bottom there from the 200 up to the 50. We're going to look short on that. But the day is not over just with that. Gold, again, we talked about this earlier. I think it can hold this $300 level and break highs. I'm not adding to my gold position until we break above that 317 level there on GLD. But the story on the tech land, Adara, you and I know this stock very, very well. We talk about it all the time. Netflix. Netflix continues to push higher. Today flat, but up to 1.4K. I'm not sure there's a bigger name right now than Netflix on a chart. Half a trillion, in market cap right now and looking to expand higher. I still like this name. I think this is a split candidate. We'll see what happens with Netflix coming out. Tariff land in Sunnyvale Park in Nova Scotia. Hey, shout out to everybody. Shout out to David there in the chat. Do you know what that's a reference to? Trailer Park
I'm
Boys.
guessing Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah,
I've never got into Trailer Park Boys. My sister loves Trailer Park Boys, so shout out to Melody. But yeah, I mean, I know there are a lot of people who really, I know Joe is probably the one pressing that button. He really likes it. All the guys on the floor like it. I'm not a comedy person, to be fair, so I just never
Then you
really
probably
got
might
into
find
it.
that one, a little
Yeah, but I mean.
I rewatched that show a bunch, and it's still fun. Like, I've seen every episode maybe 5 times.
Wow.
But now that I'm getting a little more mature, don't at me, I'm probably not. Just the language in there. It's next level.
Yeah,
So
I've heard. My sister listens to like the podcast too. They do a podcast.
They do a podcast? That might be funny.
And I don't know if it's still on, but she used to listen like when that was still on.
I might download that podcast.
Yeah, she would listen. Like they do it all in character, the three main guys. So yeah, apparently that's pretty fun.
All right, so talking about a little bit about Canada, we did have a nice recovery on Shopify. Shopify downside pretty big on their earnings. Nice little recovery though, closing in and around the 200 period moving average. So that was another name that had reported this week as well, a name that we're looking at, Shopify. We did have over the last little bit, Pinterest had a nice report, and that's starting to try to gap a little bit higher as well. Pinterest today up 4.7%. We did have Lyft with a nice move today as well, as there we go. Lyft, good number there. I'd have to review what those numbers were exactly, and then give me 1 second, and we'll talk about what those Lyft numbers were. There's nothing reporting here tonight. We just talked about Hawaiian Electric there, but they gapped up, which was really nice. A $750 million buyback coming for Lyft, so that obviously, pardon the puns, but lifting the stock, that's so stupid. And then we also had earnings of 1 cent, which was nice to get on the green side of that reported data. They were looking at minus 1 cent. So nice to see Lyft on the positive side. Gross bookings upside as well, but their sales of 1.45 missed the 147, but they guide a little forward and it goes upside there, just 27%.
Yeah, just
today, Dara, for Lyft. So I like this name, and I think whenever you have an island trade, you wait to see, and what I mean by that, it's just up here on an island all by itself, but that's a huge candle, so maybe a pullback into 15 warranted, and then we start to go upside there. I like it when a company finally turns profit, so congratulations to Lyft and their shareholders today. A big day for them. I'm not sure if we have any IPOs coming up anytime soon.
I'll take a look.
But Affirm, I thought maybe with Klarna getting shelved earlier on this year, maybe Affirm, one of the only names right now with that buy now, pay later. I mean, there's a PayPal that does something similar to that. You could, deals with Apple with Affirm, and also Best Buy, I believe, unless they're Klarna. Also, you do have Amazon. So Affirm, though, today, guiding and coming out a little bit lower. Not a great move there for Affirm. Affirm today gapping down. They posted 1 cent a share earnings, but they were expected loss of 3 cents. So they actually turned green as well. Sales beating, but the guidance raised the sales guidance as well. But that comes to the downside here. So I'm not exactly sure what they were thinking here with Affirm. Their numbers were better than expected, but they still go down there 14%, right into some nice levels. So Affirm, a nice downside push. It looks like the marijuana names getting hit downside again. We always talk about this on the show. If you're looking at some of these cannabis plays, I feel like anytime we get to the high side there, the move, that was high side cannabis.
Yeah.
Kind of lame. But there's the move down. You know what name that we haven't looked at in a while? MindMed. Again, they're getting to that shroom business again coming through. But yeah, they just reported as well. And MindMed back down to $6.15. Again, a name that's relatively short float adjacent there. I think it was over 30% short float. Let me check what we have written down right here. Short float there is 15%. We have written down on trade ideas for the short float there in MindMed, but a name, the psychedelic name, they may want to get involved in there in case it does wind up going down. Thank you so much, Sebastian, and everybody else here as we hold fort today and we wait for Steve. I do see him in the green room. We're going to call on Steve Talman in just a couple seconds. Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, wow. Talk about some energy and excitement today on the show with Tesla. Was not on the radar early, okay? But Neil and I Neil said, we're not gonna get to $300 today. I looked at him and was like, huh? And then all of a sudden, we got to 300, and oh boy, did we ever get to 300. That took out 307 today before turning around at that exact level and fading basically all day. We did get a little bump up there near the end of the day, but at the, we still wind up closing at that 298 level. But we traded it numerous times. We actually had this trade today. Tesla on relatively no news. And today makes the move higher. Again, could be a play against China. We did also see some nice moves up in the EV space in general. Look at Rivian today, another 4%. Rivian has looked real smart to be buying something off the 200 and off the... Is that for me, Fabian? Okay, and off the 50-period moving average as well down there for Rivian. So some of these companies, and then I don't know, you probably didn't find any truth to this. Someone probably trying to pump the tires, but someone said at the end of the day, maybe Lucid and NVIDIA, maybe some sort of a collab.
Highly doubt it. Not see anything. No, they just announced some incentives on their Air sedan lineup. Okay. That's it, though.
So Lucid again, we'll see, but again, another 7 or 8%. If you're going to take a shot on any of these names, I mean, I'm not sure Lucid's the right one, but we do have a nice pick up there, down in and around $2 there for Lucid, now trending higher into 250 and a little bit more than that. XBI, yuck. This is an ETF that I like. Maybe I'll talk to Steve about this. Some of the biotech plays right now. We've seen Eli Lilly get hit to the downside, and now we're going a little bit lower now on XBI, as that is looking like it's a bit of trouble here underneath the 50 period and going lower. Part of that problem, again, as what do they say? It's MAHA. You heard of that?
Oh, yeah, Make America Healthy Again?
Right, Make America.
There's an update with that, too, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, isn't there a new member of that?
There's a new Surgeon General.
Right.
Yeah, that's
female,
all
right?
it is.
Casey something?
Yeah, Casey Means. Yeah, not at all market related, but you guys know I love doing deep dives, so I've kind of looked into the situation.
Yeah, no, I've heard about that as well. So again, affecting, I mean, Moderna right now at crazy lows, mRNA right here on the weekly. I mean, you're all the way back now as if COVID hasn't even started yet. I mean, this is when Moderna was a hot fire name. Down, yep, we're going to go to Steve in just 1 second, Fabian. But Moderna getting crushed. Look at this on the weekly. Wow. Thank you so much. I'll just do a super chat, and then I'm going to go over to Steve because he is ready right now. Amazing show and amazing team. And yeah, we'll never forget Bears versus Bulls. So thank you to Normal Special right there again for your $10 super chat. We say bang to that. And my hat is always tipped to Mr. Bears versus Bulls. I mean, I'm not sure. Let me know there, Bears, B&B. How long? I feel like he's been here like 3 years, maybe.
I think he said he's like watched for forever.
Yeah, no. Yeah. He was, and again, I want to thank him for reaching out and helping us with the chat, because when we have over 12,000 people watching, as we do every day around 10 o'clock, our chat kind of goes nuts. So a big shout out to this
4 years modding, he said.
How long?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah,
wow.
Thank you so much to Bears vs. Bulls for everything you do. As someone who I didn't even have any trading experience when I came here, you're really good at making everyone feel welcomed in this awesome community.
Yeah. A big part of our team, and never forgotten, that's for sure. All right, it's Trader Talk. We're going to bring him on. Let's go. All right, Steve, how are you doing on this fine Friday? What's the weather like where you are?
Oh, it is beautiful. It's beautiful out. It's been a fun day trading. I've been enjoying being out in the sun in between trades. It's been a good day. How you doing?
Great, absolutely fantastic. I mean, it all started off today with quite the move in Tesla. Do you have, I've sort of been banging my head against the table here today. We've been looking for some news stories with Tesla and everything. Was it that we just took, I mean, you and I talk about this all the time. The 200 period moving average is roughly here. I have it marked down in and around 292, 290, whatever, give or take 290 low. But what a move we had here. If you look at this just from a 2-minute chart, we just blew up off the open. Were you able to catch any of this or anything circulating in your, in your world about Tesla these days? Because that was pretty nuts. Now closes up 5%.
Yeah, it's an impressive move. It's on my radar. I did not catch this move, but it's starting to look very appealing to me for a swing trade. Like you mentioned, that key 200-day moving average, my eyes are always there. Oh, nice, perfect.
We got it up.
It's a little cluttered. As you can see, this plan didn't quite pan out, so we'll delete that. We have the 200-day here. This red line is a major 50% fib as well. So whenever you have a break back above the equilibrium of a range, you usually get a nice expansion. So I'm going to be looking for a 350-ish zone to kind of transact next.
Right, so that was going to be my next question is that you said that's maybe setting up for a swing trade. So are we in that now, or we're waiting for it to take 350 and then maybe we go long? Are you looking long or are you looking short? I mean, we didn't really even discuss what we would do at that 350 mark. Uh-oh. I mean, he looks fantastic, but it looks like we are going to be frozen right now. So, Steve, if you can hear me, we'll try to get him back. So he just did cut off. So, all right. Again, we talked about this on the show, and I was sort of saying I wasn't trying to throw shade at charting or anything like that, especially when we have a bunch of technical analysis always on, CMTs and so on and so forth. But you got to have ideas like that because you can't just take every single break on every chart every time VWAP is broken, right? You need to add a little bit of art to your trade. So it does look like Steve is back. As soon as I get the thumbs up from Fabian, we'll go back over. So let's bring him back on there. So what we were talking about there, and thanks for hanging with us, our apologies. What would we do at that 350 level? When can we start to execute? Because I know there's a lot of traders that are currently watching right now that like to play with options and are thinking to themselves, okay, we're starting the new week off. We're starting this new month of May here. A lot of people say, sell in May and go away. Are we even trading this month? I mean, it's been a little bit crazy with all these tariffs. So give me a trade idea for Tesla, maybe for the next time I see you next Friday, if something's going to execute from now to then.
Absolutely. So I think that basically we have it primed for a setup. But as you're saying, it's the start of the new week. I really like to think of the weekly candle kind of playing out in advance.
Okay.
So if it's a bullish week and we're looking for expansion up, then I would expect Monday or Tuesday to dip back and at least retest this 200-day moving average, maybe retest this little imbalance at 285 to 290. And if we show strength there, I think it'd be a great time to get a little position in options, or you can always do the TSLA for the leveraged shares. So I will be looking for a little back test and then a reclaim of the 200-day moving average, or support off that 200 early in the week, and then I'll be looking to get long to that 350 area.
Hi, Steve. Thank you for being here with us this Friday afternoon. Next week, a lot of the earnings that we do have some classics like Walmart, Alibaba, but we also have a lot of these retail favorites, these names that do have larger short floats and move in a pretty volatile way that are reporting, like Hertz, ASTS, or Astis as we call it here, ACHR. What are your thoughts on these type of names? And I guess Hertz in particular, given the Bill Ackman news recently, do you have any levels that you like on this one?
Oh man, you asked me in particular about the one out of the three I don't know as much about, but I can take a look really quickly. While I take a look, I just want to talk about the other two. ACHR, I think, is a really strong name and a really strong sector. I think this is setting up in a long-term handle out of this cup pattern. So I think that the autonomous drone, what would you consider it? Defense names that are more tech focused, like ACHR is very cool. KTOS is another one that's just doing incredibly strong and also breaking out of one of these big cup and handle patterns. So I really like these names. They're high beta, so you get the big move like you're talking about, but they have a little bit more meat to the bones in terms of their fundamentals, I think. And let's take a look at, what's the ticker for Hertz there? HTZ?
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, so that's a strong move. I see I have some lines here. So we have Bill Ackman getting involved. It's always something to watch when you have a big participant entering a market like this. So what I'm watching is this weekly 9 EMA right there. I think that that's a pretty key level. It could maybe dip a little bit lower to test this swing high previously, but it seems to me like it's probably setting up for a climb. So what I would do is I would check volume profiles, and I would use that to kind of gauge where the next level of support is. So we traded from this shelf up to this shelf, and we have the big shelf up here. So this is our long-term target, right? If we get a solid catch in this zone, basically we have a surge up, and now it's kind of still entering back into this golden pocket range of this major range. I think it could be setting up to move to 16 if this does pan out with the Ackman bullish sentiment.
So, Steve, we don't talk often about volume profiles. Just actually watching another screen because I love all that talk, and we don't talk about it enough on the show. Can I bother you for a couple minutes just to have a look at that? Do you look at the volume profile only on daily charts? Do you prefer it on weekly, monthly, and just maybe even using Hertz? Or if you have another example of any stock, how can we use that maybe to get into some swing trades? Or I don't even know if you use it on daily charts or minute charts or what, but maybe can you do a quick little 1 or 2 minutes there on volume profile and maybe how you use it to benefit some of your style of trade?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's something that I use a lot. I'm a big volume trader. So you have the volume like we're usually used to on the time axis down here. But I think it's really important to remember the volume coming in at different price levels too. So that's where the volume profile is super useful. So essentially, it's showing us where there's a lot of orders traded. So this is an example that I'm in right now, JMIA, Jumia Technologies. They're kind of like an African Amazon type play. So retail commerce, that thing, in an emerging market, which anybody who's familiar with my appearances know I'm big on emerging markets. So I saw this volume shelf developing right here at 250. And I thought it was putting in kind of maybe a little inverted head and shoulders or something. So I took a starter position at 245. And it's working really well. And what I think is doing on the volume profile side is it's found support on this shelf right here. And now I believe it's surging up to meet this shelf here.
Right.
So for volume profiles, you have these levels of congestion or heavy trading, and you have levels of low liquidity, which are these air pockets in between. So price loves to confirm on one and then push up to the next big node, if that kind of makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. And we're not letting you go by any stretch of the imagination right here, but I want to make sure this is Steve Tileman here from Trade the Pool, an analyst. Where can most of these viewers find you? We have over 3,000 watching right now. I know you run your own streams as well, but I just want to give a plug to things that you're doing moving forward, maybe this weekend, and where they can find you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. You can always find me on Twitter at JustyTrades, JUSTY Trades. That's my Twitter handle. There you can find my Discord community as well. Perfect. In the bio, I suppose. That's where I'm trading every day. We have a really great community there. I'm also very active in Trade the Pool's Discord server. They have another great community there, and we get into a lot of granular, nitty-gritty day trade stuff, but we also talk about the big picture as well.
Okay, perfect.
One last thing, really quick. I do a webinar every week. So every Friday, about 5 minutes after I'm off of here, so 3:40, I will be on there talking about Wyckoff cycles,
Ooh.
and how to trade those. And, I'm really glad we were talking about volume profile because that's what's up next Friday.
Oh,
so
okay.
That next week.
I'm going to have to tune in. That's perfect. So I'm not done with you yet, though, Steve. I'm not letting you get away right now, but thank you for all those promotions. And I'm actually seeing in the chat right now, there are some traders, DJ2AM, talking about your Discord. So shout out to that, talking about how legit it was. So thank you again for coming on and spending some time with our viewers here today again. All right, we talked about Bitcoin a little bit, 103. I mean, wow, what a move up for Bitcoin, what a move up for Ethereum. I know you and I have talked now a couple weeks, maybe a handful of weeks here. What is your opinion on the space right now in crypto? We had Marathon Digital report today that had to move up along with Coinbase. How are you playing this sector, if at all? Do you like any of these equities? Do you like individual coins at this level? What are you thinking about in this recent bull run here in the crypto market?
Absolutely. So thank you for bringing this up. I get to take a little bit of a victory lap here. I've been a big Bitcoin bull since 8,500 there. I saw the beautiful consolidation out of a downtrend after a key double bottom off the major 50% fib. So for me, this is a fat pitch, an ideal trade where I size up because there's just so much confluence in support there. So I've been long since there. I've been playing with MicroStrategy, so MSTR. This one has been a screamer. And, we got in here. It had earnings, and that coincided with the key 400 level I was looking. So I took half of my position off there. I'm riding half to the moon, as they say. And I'd just like to really quickly show you why I chose that instrument. Right. So what I'm pulling up here is where is it?
What is that? What are you looking for?
There it is. Okay, it's a ratio chart of MicroStrategy compared to Bitcoin.
Right.
Okay, here we go. So this is showing whenever you have the first half of a symbol in a ratio chart, that's the one that it's gauging the strength of. So this is the chart of MicroStrategy's relative strength to Bitcoin. And as you can see, it's got this huge base and it's breaking out of this handle here. So I believe we are in for a regime of outperformance by MicroStrategy compared to Bitcoin. So that's why it's my instrument of choice.
We often talk about that on the show, and I was saying to one of our traders, Joe, I was like, why are you not just in MSTR if you like Bitcoin so much? But I actually like that strategy there of getting some out before earnings. That, to me, is the only real risk, is something's disclosed about strategy, which is MSTR, and then all of a sudden your strategy of pairing against Bitcoin completely changes. We did have that one short seller report, but I don't think it did have an effect, but obviously we have bounced back from those levels as well. Okay, only 2 more minutes. One more question, and that is, we've had some analysts on here before, like a Brian Shannon, that kind of stays away from Chinese equities because, again, he just thinks there's too much risk there. The government, you don't know what sort of strings are going to get pulled. Like, I remember when they were trading with some of those education names and they were private, then all of a sudden they're just like, oh, no, they're going to go public or something like that, and they just tank like 90%. I think TAL or something was one of those stocks. But what do you think about some of those plays now in China? We've had a really great move back off of, and we can come over here to my chart actually quickly for FXI, Fabian. There's you and I's favorite indicator, I think, this 200 period on a daily. We really came in, we tested it. Sure, we dipped below by about 2 or 3%, but now we're right back up into the 50 period moving average. Are you one of these guys that is okay with trading Chinese names? And if so, where do you think we go from here?
Okay, absolutely. So first off, shout outs to Brian Shannon. He's one of the GOATs.
Love that guy.
You know, I gotta put that out there before I might fade him a little bit on this, because I think his concerns are valid. I think technical traders in particular are wary of potential geopolitical headwinds. It just opens up a whole new can of worms in terms of variables there. That being said, I personally believe, and this has been my thesis all year long, that we are shifting to some degree away from a unipolar geopolitical global economy into a multipolar one, and alliances will need to be forged between China and other nations. You know, this isn't about my personal feelings of whether it's good or bad. It's just the trend I'm seeing. So I think that China has absolute massive headroom up if we can start to see some resolution, which it does seem to be like we are on track for. So for me personally, I'm a big bull in FXI. I think BABA is the best way to play the theme overall, but there are some other names that really interest me.
Sure.
So to kind of bring it all full circle, because we started this talking about some defense names that are outperforming, like ACHR or KTOS. I think EHang, is a very interesting company. They do
helicopter.
They're one of the biggest in the scene for transport drones, essentially like kind of like Ubers in the sky, essentially. They have really cool tech. They have a lot of government contracts and a lot of kind of backing by the CCP. So I think that they have a lot of room to go up. It's a pretty chart too. I think that this is going to be one of the ways I'm playing the theme going forward.
Would you ever get into one of those little helicopters there? I mean, we've had some videos of it. It looks too risky to me, those little helicopters. Would you get in one of those?
You see me shaking my head. I'll invest in it, but I don't know if I'll be up there quite yet.
Same for sure. All right, Steve, again, happy Mother's Day to you and yours again. Thank you so much for joining us on this show. Again, Justy Trades, they can go find you there, hit the Discord, trade the pool. Again, you're involved with them. So thank you so much for that and a great weekend. Do you want to leave our viewers with anything before I let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So hop on over to Trade the Pool's live channel on YouTube, and you'll catch my webinar there. And I'll leave you with one trade idea for the week.
Perfect.
EWZ, the Brazilian ETF. I think it's primed to go.
Perfect. We like that. We actually had some talk about some Brazilian names today, Embra Air and whatnot as well. So EWZ, another one of those emerging markets right there. So we know what you're all about. Thank you so much, Steve. Have a fantastic weekend. And we'll catch you next Friday where I'm going to ask you about EWZ again, okay? So thank you, Steve. Have a good one. I hope everyone joins you on the stream. Thank you. That's Steve.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, that's it, man. That's Trader Talk. I mean, we love that guest. What an amazing guy there, Steve Teilman. Go make sure you do check him out. We want to thank everyone for the support in the chat again one more time. So we're going to write that down, EWZ. Well, you have a great memory, I don't. So we'll remember that for next week when we do talk to Steve about that. So again, thank you so much once again to everybody. This has been your Profit X recap show. So thank you to everybody for watching. Look, it's been a fantastic week, but Sunday is Mother's Day.
Oh, it is.
All right, so my question for you is, all right, this is brunch. What do you think your mother's favorite item in a brunch would be before we dab up here?
She's celiac, so it's so hard. Half my family celiac. Oh my God, I don't have a good answer for this.
What a stupid question. All right, French toast. All right, there we go. Hey, we love French toast as well. French toast is a great one. All right, so there you go. French toast. We want to say a big shout out to everybody that's watching us live, no matter where you are. Have a happy Mother's Day from everybody here at Trader TV Live. Thank you to Fabian. Thank you to Ramin. Thank you for Adara, Neil, Joe, Sharif, Bears vs. Bulls, Brendo. We're doing it live every single day. Make sure you join us back here at 8:30. This energy don't stop despite it being 4:30 on a Friday. We're getting ready to go home. Happy Mother's Day to my mother, but I'm seeing you tonight and hopefully on Sunday as well. So for everybody out there, this is Adara. I am Sean, and we will see you bright and early back here on Monday at Trader TV Live. Ciao.
See you.
I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.